did you guys listen to the episode 100? You two?
I have not gotten to it yet.
I have. I wasn't planning on it,
And it was
largely
great.
because I guess now would probably be well, all right. So like typically I usually show up to this podcast completely sober. That was not the case last week. On top of that, I did something before the podcast that stressed me out during the entirety of the podcast. So I will admit that I spent the entirety of playing D&D like pacing around my room, like borderline having a panic attack, while like my jaw was on the ground, like out of y'all's creativity. So I assumed that I really sounded like as bad as it felt, but like when I listened back, it really wasn't. I just sounded really happy.
No,
So
I
that
forgot
worked
that the
out well.
listeners don't know about that. Do you want to tell them what happened?
I
It's
don't
very
think they'll
Have we?
care
Have we? Are
particularly.
we? Are we in the
Nah.
actual like episode now?
I think we
or-
are at some point.
Okay.
At some point.
No, I don't. I don't think they need it. I don't think that'd be interesting to them. I think they'd. You think it would? I don't think they'd care.
You know what though? Here's what I
You are now tuned in to your number one radio station.
Violent people.
Radio.
think. Welcome to Violent People Radio, episode 100. I am Dan Rice. I'm joined by Pat. Pat, how's it going?
It's not episode 100.
101. Sorry about that. God damn it. Okay. Orchid, tell the story.
Can't see.
You're so nice. I think it's you being so nice, and it's so funny that you were so stressed. And at the end, they all thought you were fucking with them.
Okay.
Would you like me? Would you like me to tell the story and then you can correct all of my inaccuracies? Would that
sounds
be easier?
fucking sick? Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so not yesterday.
It wasn't
last
yesterday.
week- it was yesterday. Everything was yesterday. There's only ever yesterday and tomorrow. But Orchid, kind soul that she is, decided to surprise all of us with DoorDash from local restaurants to each of us while we were playing D&D. And none of us realized it had happened. So when we finished recording, Orchid was like, well, by the way, did you get your DoorDash? And all of us thought that she was fucking with us. And lo and behold, I walked out and I had what was it? A burger from Applebee's, like sitting on my porch for about 2 hours.
Yeah, that pretty much accurately describes it. The things that aren't like that y'all don't know is that, like, so for starters, Dan knew. I was talking to Dan about this the entire time. I wanted to ensure that I got everybody food that they liked. And like, Pat, I know you've been, complaining about the queso burger that went away. So that's why you also got queso with you. I figured you could try your best to make your own queso
I did
burger.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Chris loves sandwiches. So I got him a Reuben. And then Sam
Is a jerk.
Dan told me that he didn't know if there was any food that Sam didn't like. And so I decided we were thinking about getting him butter chicken since he never had it. But we settled on Jamaican food, because I thought it'd be really funny to order him food from a place called Mr. Big Time, I think was what it was called. I can't remember. Yeah, something like that. But also because we thought he was a big jerk. So that was kind of the joke there. Now, Pat and... wait, on top of that, I did not sleep well the night before because Tanner was supposed to be on the podcast. And what I was trying to do was I was trying to buy Tanner's wife, specifically Tanner's wife, as many hot dogs as $60 could buy. And I thought that would be...
That's not many right now. That's not many.
It's not.
Right.
It's not.
I know because I went... Recently, we had a cookout at my work, and I was on hot dog purchasing duty.
Mm.
And Those packages of hot dogs, they added up really quick.
Yeah, I believe it. And well, one different so for starters, I have no idea where the fuck Tanner lives, but it is not near any place that delivers DoorDash. So like he lives in bumfuck wherever the fuck, which like I just finding any restaurant to deliver him food took me about like 45 minutes. And then I guess like when I finally found like the Jack's chain where I could actually order his wife like $60 worth of hot dogs, which on top of I had to like backwardsly stalk him to find his wife's name because the last thing I wanted was just like, just some random no matter what, this was going to be fucking creepy. There's just no way around it. But like when I ended up finally putting the order in, it got canceled like 6 times. So like I got charged about $450 to for hot dogs that did not show up in Tanner's house. And like I had to call like fucking Grubhub the next day. I was on the phone for 45 minutes, complaining a lot. Got my money back, no problem. But I was ready. That was like the place I was starting from. Then on top of that, the real thing that I was aiming to do was I wanted the food to get delivered while we were on the air because I was going to be on a gas station THC beverage, and really strange things amuse me during those periods. And B, I could not have think of a better bit than like Pat being like the dungeon master and like just getting grumpy because somebody's knocking on his door a lot to like deliver him like an Applebee's hamburger. But I forgot about time zone differences, so they all got there early. So I'm tracking 3 orders in Postmates.
They got there early, and also,
Yep.
I should know, I live on the 3rd floor, so they just left the food on my porch and dipped.
I had communication with every delivery driver to just say, it's a gift, they might be confused. And every one of them was like, yeah, okay. And then none of them fucking even bother knocking on the door. I communicated with each one of them saying, knock on the door. None of
They
them
might have
fucking
knocked,
did.
and I just didn't hear it. I've got my earbuds in. I'm up on the 3rd floor. I might have not heard a knock on the front door.
That's a good point.
I just felt the need to tell the story because I really enjoyed the second we are done, she goes, "So is this a bit? You guys not mentioning the food?" I guess you thought we all they were all messaging each other like, "Do not give her the satisfaction.
Yes.
Keep silent about the food."
Because my flaw being that I get angry when I'm not the center of attention, I just sort of in my paranoid state just assume that you would all just being like, don't let her get don't let her get the satisfaction of knowing. And so I just was like, I'm sitting there throughout the entire podcast like panicking and high out of my mind, just being like, why aren't they talking about food? And then at one point, like we were doing like a rest, like I kind of tried to insinuate because like my character had a power to add seasoning to food. I tried to be like, I'm giving Chris a seasoned sandwich or something along those lines. And then no one fucking bit. And I'm like, oh fuck, like what are they doing? This is just cruel. And then on top of that, like Chris had tweeted that he was excited about the episode. And then I said, oh yeah, like he didn't know what surprises were in store. And I was like, the first surprise is gonna get there before we even start recording. And then I dropped into the chat, like, don't forget to say something nice to your driver. So like I kept trying to leave these fucking Easter eggs. And that was just like, obviously they're horrible attempt to do such a thing. But I'm just sitting there just thinking, and then had I even considered the fact that you hadn't got your food, I would have been in a completely different fucking panic state. Just thinking about the fact that there's a fucking cheeseburger from Applebee's sitting outside Brookside, Massachusetts. And then the worst part of all of it was Chris didn't get his Reuben, and now he's going to be able to use that as emotional leverage over me, which is unfortunate.
Oh yeah, no, you're fucked.
I know. And out of everyone on this call, none of you deserve food besides Chris. And that's the worst part of all of it. And now I've been desperate to buy the boy a sandwich since the minute he started counting VPRs. Or VP 100 ballots, and been too afraid to ask. It was like, I'll just surprise him with the group. It won't feel as fucking weird. And now he doesn't even have a Reuben. And now I don't even know where he is. I don't even know.
The crazy thing is that immediately after it was confirmed that the Reuben didn't arrive, Chris said, I'm taking 2 weeks off.
Yeah. How do you think that made me feel?
I'd like to say for the
record, it's all about me.
I'm really happy that I knew Tanner's wife's name because I think that's why I got looped in. And I got my food.
Of course, the person who deserves it the least, who just had a nice romantic weekend with fucking Matt Riddle kissing dolphins on the dick, got as much Little Caesars as he wants. Right. What the fuck?
I got $40 buys a lot of Little Caesars around here. I said, make that shit crazy style.
The fun thing about it was, though, that Dan did ask, instead of me actually getting something delivered to him, because he's economical, asked me to Venmo him. But apparently he's been banned from every
Oh,
cash
we don't need to
cash
get into
sharing.
that.
No, yes, we do. So he asked me to send it to his sister, which is now I now have Dan's sister's Venmo and can. My love language is gift giving. I can give Dan's sister everything I want and say, from your trans sister-in-law, which
She
is
deserves
exactly what I
I
did.
wasn't convinced that Dan had a gambling problem until finding out he's been banned from Venmo and Cash App, and
Listen, I have Cash App. I wasn't asked about Cash App. I don't have Venmo. I'm not allowed on Venmo or PayPal anymore, is all I can say.
One of them is his fault, the other one's not. That's what he told me. That's
PayPal was a whole thing. A little bit my fault,
I
but they let
believe
me
it.
keep my account. And then I ordered something off of Amazon Canada, and I got my fucking, like, PayPal stolen or some shit, and I got extra charges on there. I fought the charges, and they're like, "Okay, here's your money back. Never use PayPal again." Now Venmo, when Venmo first started, it was the Wild West. You could sign up for an online bank account, link that to your Venmo, and Venmo will let you send up to $800. No, no, no questions asked. Did that like 4 times, and then Venmo's like, "Hey, obviously you can't do that."
Man. Well, hopefully the IRS isn't listening to this,
So that one,
especially
that Venmo
considering
Venmo is legit. That is me. I kept waiting for a letter. I'm like, someday I'm gonna get a letter saying I owe him, $3,000 or something.
I get emails every so often like, "Here's the latest news with Venmo." I literally got a Venmo during COVID just because that was the only way the barber shop I went to, that was how to tip the hairstylists.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
I don't know why they were like, "Okay, you can only do it via Venmo, you can't use cash." Because I would have tipped cash. But so then I signed it up and I did, like 3 transactions with Venmo, and now I've been getting emails ever since.
Can't imagine that flying at the barbershop I used to go to. Shout out to Goodfellas in Great Kills, Staten Island, New York. But I'm pretty sure that's still a cash only establishment.
I
You can
say my
definitely get.
barber's
This
my barber's cash only, and last time I was there, he didn't have change, and he said, "Do you wanna go get change?" Not, "He'll go get change." He wanted me to walk across the street and get change, and I said, "You can just keep it."
Now that
the
I'm thinking
worst
about it, I'm
haircut
pretty.
I ever got was I don't even remember where it was in New Hampshire, but the guy used a Flowbee,
Oh my God.
and I was like, "Well, he probably knows what he's doing." This was, the moment in my life that taught me this was God, must be 20 years ago now. This was the moment in my life that taught me, like, okay, you have to speak up when something does not appear to be correct. Because I was like, okay, this guy's using a Flowbee. He probably knows what he's doing. He's a barber. I get out there and I just kind of like look at myself. I see myself in the side view mirror of my car, and I'm just like, I need to drive to another barber shop, or I just need to go home and buzz my head.
I
Like,
I I'm like haircut culture in Staten Island is like like you get your haircut like once a week in Staten Island. And like you hang out. Like it's like kind of like a
yeah,
thing.
yeah, it's
When
barbershop
I
culture.
started,
Yeah.
yeah, when I started undergraduate in New Hampshire, like that was getting a haircut was probably the most stressful thing I ever did as a young adult. That was a fucking nightmare. I can't imagine getting one with a Flowbee. Fuck me.
One time I got a bad haircut, and it was actually from the owner of the barbershop, and I left, and I didn't realize how bad it was because I was, like, in a hurry, and I left, and then, like, 30 minutes later, I look in the mirror, and I go, "Oh my god. Oh my god, this is like." I'm not a guy that really cares what I look like, and I looked horrible, like, my just, like, it was uneven, it was a mess, so I go
Yeah.
back, and this woman's like, "Oh, he's gone. When did you wanna make an appointment for?" I was like, "I just wanna know if they can fix this." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, what happened?" I go, "He happened." And she's like, "He cut your hair today?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, honey, sit down. We need to fix this." Like, "That's your boss.
Man.
What happened?"
Part of me wonders if it's like I used to manage a store. There was a barber shop across the street. You never saw anyone in it. I think the barber just kept up the lease so he had somewhere where he could go and drink away from his wife.
Yeah.
That's what this podcast is. We all get away from Sam.
Finally, we can drink away from the wife, Sam. I guess we didn't talk about wrestling last week. Did you guys wanna talk about it this week at all?
Yeah, we could talk a little wrestling.
Alright. Any of you watch any, Pat?
It's gonna be awesome when someone tweets you like, "I thought this was the D&D podcast."
That One person tweets that, and I'm shutting down the wrestling. That's all I need.
Violent no.
Anyway, who's up?
I asked you if you watched
You.
anything.
I've decided.
Oh, yeah, I watched some stuff. You know, I was on the official Grapply Discord server, and we did a watch party, whatever you want to call it, of WCW Bash at the Beach 1999.
Fuck yeah.
Bad show.
Bad show.
Really bad show. It's crazy how they have the Jersey Triad, Orchid's spiritual kin, versus I think it was Benoit and Saturn, and
Yes.
people in
Yep.
Cage Match were like, "This is a 7.5 match." I'm just like, "What the fuck are you idiots watching?" 30 minutes of nothing. Bam Bam Bigelow couldn't even like be bothered to wear his right ring gear. He was just out there in a fucking garbage bag. Bad show. The part of it though was very funny in a, you know, bad show kind of way, like Buff Bagwell versus Roddy Piper in a boxing match.
Yep.
And Judy Bagwell doing what I did not realize until a good few minutes after it happened was Judy Bagwell was biting Piper's ear, but it was filmed so ineptly that all I saw was Judy Bagwell trying to go for a clinch on Roddy Piper, which is already an insane thing to say. You know, just WCW in '99 is amazing for just how bad they were at everything. And this even extends into I've just been watching random matches from that summer of hell on YouTube, and they'll do like a match was probably going to be pretty good. Silver King versus Norman Smiley. Who wouldn't want to see that? Except they had a gimmick at the time of anytime there was a match between like undercard guys, WCW worldwide guys, Sid would come out and kill them both. So there were so many matches where I would see the thing and be like, "Oh, this looks like it could be a cool match," and then Sid just comes out and choke slams everyone. So I love Sid, but I understand why people in 1999 were ready to kill Sid. Other than that, what the fuck did I watch? I've been catching up on stuff. I finally watched the main event of that New Japan Deathmatch show. Pretty good.
The one that
Uh,
Gage was in.
yeah, Gage and
Yeah.
Tremont versus assorted others.
That was a fun one.
I still think it's wild that there are people who are supposedly fans of deathmatch wrestling who only view it through the lens of El Desperado.
Right.
But I think that's just me being an old man at this point. And go on.
Nah, I don't. Nah. Go ahead.
I watched. I finally got around to ICW No Holds Barred. I guess they're not ICW No Holds Barred anymore. I guess they're just No Holds Barred, the Chains. Finally got around to Volume 91, one of their shows from the TWE Arena. And two good matches on it: Anakin Murphy versus Dr. Redacted, and Angel Metro versus John Wayne Murdoch, which are both bully matches. One of them is a very traditional man bullies woman kind of match with John Wayne Murdoch just beating the shit out of Angel Metro. And Anakin and Dr. Redacted was a much more meta-narratively interesting sadist versus masochist bully match, where I'm sure someone with more free time than me could write a very, very disturbing essay on how fraught with tension the concept of both of their wrestling personas colliding are. Craziest thing on the show though was Danny DeMonto and Jameson Shook. You know the steel coffin thing they do where they line up 6 chairs?
Yes.
Yeah, to do the psychodraft. They're standing on that and they go for a German suplex off of it. That's the sort of total dumbass recklessness you only usually see from Sadika. Speaking of Sadika, I was just wondering when the fuck the King Phantom was coming back. I looked at their Facebook. They should be doing their anniversary show in June, so hopefully we get a Sadika mask.
Bear Bronson versus Tank from that ICW show. 18 minutes
Didn't
long.
like it.
18
like it.
minutes long.
The rose is off the bloom for me with Bear Bronson. I think he's good, but I don't think he's 18-minute match good.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of aces of their respective fields, I watched Chanyota winning the PPP. What is it called? Venus of Party, the Women's Championship. That's the full name of the title.
You guys should do
Um,
a bit where you're just making shit up about women's wrestling
I mean,
for
I might as well be,
30 minutes. Like,
but
I have no idea if that's a real thing you're talking about.
No,
no, no, no. So
I
the
do. I do.
PPP
Good to see.
Tokyo, I forget what PPP stands for, but some of it is party.
Yes.
And so they introduced a women's title, which is called the Venus of Party, the Women's Championship. So it's like Venus of Party colon the Women's Championship, like it's a subtitle. And that was between Chanyota and Ichika Miyagi. Pretty good match. You know, I would say it drove me insane that they did not clean their camera lens. The entire time it's like they're filming it through a fucking car windshield. That was driving me nuts. Way more than any, Okada versus Jerry Lawler GWE bullshit. But the match itself was pretty good. Ichika was fucking lighting her up with chops. Like, if you want to see women getting hurt by chops to the Hooters, this is the match for you. But yeah, other than that, I don't think I watched anything really worth talking about beyond that.
PPP, if I'm not mistaken, stands for Passion, Pleasure, Pro Wrestling. Alternatively, it could stand for Philosophy, Pioneer, Pioneering, Progress, Evolution. But it is absolutely a real
Those
promotion.
both sound right.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I tend to agree. I was hoping you didn't get to that match yet because I'm eager to catch it myself. But unfortunately, have not had a chance to get to it yet. But yeah, thank you for covering it. I'll pretend it didn't happen next week.
Well, I won't give too much away. I will just say though that Ichika was really going for it on those chops, and it's been a while since I've seen a match with chops that sound that satisfying. That sounds like she's breaking her own hand.
Yeah, Chanyota did post like the aftermath the next day, and it looked
Oh
fucking.
yeah,
It
no,
looked
she
fucking
looked all
brutal.
fucked up.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Cool.
I had a joke in mind for that, and then I thought better of it at the very last second.
Same. Probably the same joke.
But well, no, it was about how Chanyota already had her breast implants out, so those chops weren't achieving their goal of popping them.
I'm very glad you decided not to tell it.
Yeah.
I bet
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
keep that one to myself.
somebody will edit it out.
Mhm.
I did so much editing last week and no one fucking mentioned it. Never doing that again. I
You
had
did such
beautiful.
a great job. What are you kidding? I
had
loved
I
it.
added in the little
I do think
goblins
you should add
dying.
more background music to the regular episodes.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. I'll do
I was
that.
so
I'll do that
I
tonight.
was I was so proud of the intro. I was like, here we go. People need to know what to get into. This is Pat fucking setting the scene. Let me talk about wrestling though, instead of fucking D&D. I watched this show called from Bel Air, Maryland, from Eastern Wrestling Association called EWA Rage in the Cage. And it's one of those shows where every match is in a steel cage. And that's a good thing. And I actually think it makes sense on the indies because you don't want to take the cage down. So just put it up at the beginning and stay with it. Um they had a I don't did TNA just call it the reverse battle royal when they did it?
Where you had to get into the ring?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the reverse battle royal.
They did that, but with a cage, and I think with the cage it makes a little more sense. It was not good. You should not watch it, but I was like, well, this kind of makes sense because it's only the one door.
Well,
And so
they weren't climbing the walls. They were
well,
just
you
trying to go
could
through the
climb the
door.
walls or you could go through the door. And you had to get in, and then they had a bell that you had to ring a bell. And once you rung the bell, you won.
Okay, so it wasn't that people were eliminated by getting into the.
No, it was just everyone starts outside, first guy to get in and ring the bell. Ringing the bell, ends the match, I guess, in this case.
Okay, so it's like the triple cage match.
Yeah. And I say don't watch it. Probably the third best match on the show. Show is awful. But it featured the state champs, which is Sal Mastretta and David Moses. I kind of like them. They're out of Cheeseburger's gym. I don't really see them
That is
outside of,
a
like
Sturdy Sal,
yeah,
if I'm
yeah,
not mistaken.
yep, and they faced, Saul Esparza and Old Man Youngboy of Dean fame, or whatever that show was called, not Dean. Dean, not Dean. And this was really, really fun. It has a lot of which is my problem with a lot of these state champ matches, is it gets a little too later day Chikara sometimes where there's more football action in the matches you'd want. But outside of that, it's really good. That's really the only thing I'd actually recommend watching from this show. Like I said, the Reverse Battle Royal is funny. I also speaking of, like, insane shit I watched, I like,
Before you move on from that show, I do have
yeah,
one question.
yeah.
Um, what condition was the cage in by the end of the show?
Oh, terrible. It's really funny. At one point, I don't know what match it was. It might have been that tag match. At one point, one of the guys gets thrown into it and it moves the cage. The cage bends and moves like a solid foot and a half. And the
That
guy
was
goes,
as soon as you said an indie show that was all cage matches, that was exactly what I thought about was I'm like, well, that cage is like gonna be held together just barely at the start of the show. And by the end of it, it's gonna fall on the fucking front
I'm a
row.
guy who never hears I don't really pay attention to the commentary. Like I just may able just tune it out. But that guy one of the commentator goes, there's no give in that steel cage. And then there's a pause and it goes, well, it gave a little bit. Because like he realized what he said. He's just saying some shit he heard Jim Ross say, but then he's like, well, that cage did move. That's a lot of give.
I do need to go and see if anyone ever posted the crash show where the cage fell on fans.
Oh, you know what? I'll say that's beautiful segue. I watched the Crash May 15th main event, which is a six-way cage match between Hijo de Rey Mysterio, Ray Horus, Trauma 2, Extreme Tiger, El Hijo de Fishman, and El Hijo de Mascara Sagrada. And it was I mean, it's fun if you know you're going into a indie lucha cage match. It's just a lot of stupid bullshit. There's a non-finish. Uh, surprise, surprise. There's a non-finish when it's not even down to the final two guys. There's three guys left, and there's a non-finish. So like a lot of guys weren't doing jobs that night, I guess. Um, but yeah, I watched that, and I watched they had a match that was the Mexa Boys versus the 420 Brothers versus Archangel Divino and Ultimo Maldito and Milionario Jr. and Ninja Mac. And it was, I mean, that's exactly what you wanted out of that match. Just a bunch of fucking sloppy dives and bullshit. Um, those are only two matches I watched from that show, but they were both worth checking out. Um, I was Chris was here, but I was doing a lot of indie lucha watching, and one of them I watched mostly because I was terrified because there was a match that was Bendito and Flamita versus Argus and Gaius, and the YouTube link is 38 minutes long.
Eek.
And I was like, "Holy shit, what is 38?" It ends up only being 20 minutes, and then, like, the last 12 minutes are, like, a blank screen, and there's lots of other bullshit in it, but I was like, I had to watch that. I'm like, what does a near 40-minute match with Argus and Gaius look like? But it was not to be. Um, I watched, Sankaras Jr. and El Hijo de Fishman versus Mascara Sagrada and Santo Jr., which is probably the best Santo Jr. match I've ever watched. Just took place on May 16th. Now, Pat, you watched a lot of the, uh El Hijo de Santo retirement tour. So
Yeah.
you might know the playbook here. They just all cut each other up, like, immediately. I
They
don't know if
didn't
that's
really
how they
do
did
that
it.
on the Santo retirement shows were much more, um like, the reason that I wasn't very charmed by Fishman and stuff being on them is that they weren't cutting each other up.
Oh,
They
okay.
were just going out there
Well,
and kinda
then
doing, like, PG, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it.
this is what they should have done because this was fucking fun just because, like, they didn't, like, attempt to do anything else. Like, within 60 seconds, Santo's mask is ripped, and by the end of it, all 4 guys are bleeding, and, of all the indie lucha matches I watched, that's actually probably the one I would recommend the most, and I haven't liked the Santo Jr. stuff I've seen mostly, so I watched a terrible episode of AEW Dynamite/Collision. I have nothing to say about that. I was gonna say I watch Reach Catch, the French promotion. And I wish I knew someone else on the internet that watches it because they have this new side thing they started a few months ago called Toxic Reach, which is like a studio show, but the studio's like covered in like toxic waste containers, and there's guys wearing hazmat suits, and but they're all speaking French. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. But the last 2 episodes featured this woman. I got her name written down. It is Melusine Erade, which is like irradiated melusine. I'm probably saying all that wrong because I don't speak French, obviously. Where her character seems to be like Nikki Cross, but like dressed as a girl from The Ring, and she can't be hurt. Like she doesn't win matches, but you'll hit her with a chair and she lays down and then does the Undertaker sit up. And then they hit her with a fire extinguisher, Undertaker sit up. And then that happens for 12 minutes. And I don't understand what's happening. I've watched all 8 episodes, so I mean, I guess I'm the joke's on me. But I wish someone who spoke French could tell me what is going on with this and what does it all mean. Um, and then I think the only thing else I need to talk about is that I rewatched this match from August 18th, 2008. It's Rob Van Dam versus Kendo Kashin versus Necro Butcher and Orchid. You're
Go
wrong.
fuck yourself. Go
It's
fuck yourself.
16 minutes of just pure beauty.
You're
What you got to do, the match to watch on that show is the Montana Silva match. I forget who he was. He was facing some actual legit
Ogawa.
person. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the one because we did the OGP server did that show a while back, and that was the match we all came away like, okay, Montana Silva, he's got it. He's got the juice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the random bullshit I've watched in the last 2 weeks. I got nothing else worth talking about. Orchid?
Yeah, well, y'all talked a lot more about wrestling than we planned on talking about.
Yeah, we
I'm gonna
lied.
do what I can. Yeah, I'm gonna do what I can to keep it quick. I definitely did watch less wrestling this week than I have in the past, which was great. Shouts to getting married. Shit's awesome. A really lovely weekend with my wife. Sunday was just dope. Like we have like a really shitty, like $120 above ground like fucking plastic pool. We just fucking hung out in there like all afternoon before the AEW pay-per-view. The pool was the highlight of the day. What interesting show Double or Nothing was. I it's I keep seeing it getting praised universally. Brian Alvarez has been consistently saying this week that it is the best AEW show of all time. I can't wait to hear him say that again next month and the month after and the month after. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not going to watch AEW. I will. There are a lot of really talented guys who I go out of my way to watch, but it really does feel like the magic is just completely gone at this point. I don't think anything really worth going out of your way to see. I thought Moxley and O'Reilly was pretty decent, but beyond that, the fuck is this promotion doing? And then from an in-ring perspective, I think the one thing that I will say is that if you're the sort of person who enjoyed Swerve Strickland and Bandito, you got to get your head checked. I don't know what the fuck's going on with you. You're watching shit to see Dragon Ball Z get cosplayed and LARPed. Good for you. Congrats. So yeah, watch that. I did watch Dynamite last night. I do agree that there isn't much to say from it. I'm probably one of the few people who enjoyed the main event. I do like Statlander in a plunder match.
I was about to ask
like,
about that because I did Sheeta get fucked up or what happened?
There is a 6 spot in that match where Statlander just fucking whips a chair directly at her face. It clonks her right in the forehead, and while it's welting up, Sheeta tries to blade it and fails miserably. So she's walking around for the rest of the match with a huge welt that's like probably encompassing 60% of her forehead, with a tiny cut on it that does not leak. And it appears as if she has no eyebrows. I could not pay attention to anything else besides trying to figure out where that woman's eyebrows were for the majority of the match. Pretty sick shit. Statlander does take a pretty good light tube shot. Kind of like she has like barely any skin showing on her back, and that's like kind of like it's obviously was She was wearing a crop top just to take like a pretty fucking gnarly light tube shot there. Kind of pussy that that's like the best you can get out of an AEW show. But yeah, I don't know. I think for what it was pretty good. Definitely at the end of a fucking 3.5 hour long fucking Wednesday night show.
It was the
After a
best.
4 hour
Follow-up
fucking
question,
period.
follow-up question. Did they gimmick the light tube like they did in the Jericho Gage match where they took the vacuum pressure out to remove the spooky dust?
It's safe to assume that they're always doing that in AEW. I have no
Just
recollection of it.
because it makes a difference. If you hit someone with an un uncorrected light tube, it explodes because it's basically a
Yeah,
vacuum
yeah,
in
yeah.
there. When they took the spooky
Yeah.
dust out, it just broke.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely gimmicking them. I don't remember the Gauge one as much as you do. But it doesn't look like a regular like light tube shot at all.
It'd be awesome if they were
Um,
just like, okay, we're not going to use these dangerous. Let's get the really skinny ones.
mhm, mhm. They were bundled. I feel like that's worth pointing out. I did watch a lot of old WCW this weekend. I'm not
Nice.
gonna spend too much. Yeah, I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about it, largely because it's in preparation for a different podcast. Which I'm not sure if I'm allowed to plug it because I'm not sure if it's part of this network or not. And that's another
I'm
anxiety point
I'm
I'll
gonna
save for a
I'm gonna
different day.
say, who's gonna fucking stop you?
I will say one,
That's a
you
good
can
point.
plug it. Two, do not have anxiety whether or not it's part of the network. We don't care one way or the other. We'd like you
I
guys. We'd
know.
love to have you, but we don't care.
Yeah, so Colette and I are starting a podcast solely to center around every week we'll have not every week. We're not recording every week. But when we do
Twice a week?
record, it'll be I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm trying to find a job right now. So it's been a really interesting time right in my life. But to say nothing of the fact that I'm probably gonna log 70 hours of work this week. But yeah, Colette and I are starting a podcast called The Patron Saints of Six Sons of Bitches, which will be really what it is an excuse for me to curate Colette through making a greatest wrestler ever argument for one specific wrestler. Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and just say who it is, but I won't go into detail too much about the matches. It's Goldberg. We'll be recording our first episode on
Sick.
Sunday. Yeah, it'll be a good one. We both ranked the way we kind of identified who to start our episode with. Like I did a little bit of math around it, and Goldberg was one of like the five wrestlers we were the closest on in terms of where we placed them. Um, we're both old trans women. Colette, a WCW person first. Goldberg was the reason I started watching WCW. Like I'll never forget like being like, you know, 13 years old and like everybody being like, you heard about this guy Goldberg yet? He's fucking killing it. And that's like what made me tune in. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. I think out of what I've seen so far, the match that I enjoy the most from my little Goldberg watch through has been probably him against Perry Saturn. Just largely forget like just Saturn probably like the most try hard wrestler from that era. Like he kind of like fits into no category. Like he's like it seems to be like the most oft forgot. Like you never hear anybody like make a case for like Perry Saturn as like the greatest wrestler ever. And yeah, I just kind of enjoy you watch his matches and you're like, there's a lot of talent here, but I completely understand why this is the most fucking forgettable wrestler of his era. So yeah,
I mean,
enjoyed that
not
quite
for
a bit.
nothing is he came from the same general time frame in the Kowalski dojo as Triple H and Albert.
Mm-hmm. And it's like that's not law, like right, like it shows, like it's so apparent. Yeah, that when it comes to like in ring psychology, that's not exactly his foray. Does he have his nipples
Now,
pierced?
Yeah.
yes,
That's what I
he did.
thought. Yeah,
And for
Yeah.
a while, he was wearing like the Marilyn Manson corset too.
yes, which was fucking beautiful.
I think we can all
And
agree
yeah, just like what a reminder about how fantastic people.
the wrong Eliminator died.
Couldn't agree more.
I'm just saying, we're all thinking it. So
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure Perry's had some moments where he's like, Dan, I wish I was gone too. He does not seem to be living his best life.
I feel like maybe he's turned it around, but I don't know. Who could
I
know?
mean, he's got like a house. He's got a roof over his head now.
A house.
But he's
All right.
living. He's not living out of his car or anything these days. As far as I know, he's off meth. But he's like consistently been like, "Yeah, I have brain damage."
Are you friends with him
Um,
on Facebook, Dan?
I wish.
Uh,
I
we
tell him it
got
was really
some
cool.
work to
I
do
tell him it was really cool what he did to Mike Bell.
Oh, man. That's a
there.
classic.
That's a great match.
Question, are you gonna be watching or have you already watched Goldberg versus
Yeah, that is definitely one that Colette told me to go out of my way to make sure I
that
watch.
is
Where
such
I'm
a
at,
good match.
yeah, I can't wait. I made it through. The last match I watched was the win over Hogan for the for the title. So tomorrow and Saturday I'll probably do my the rest of the remaining time in WCW. I'm not sure if I'll watch much of the WWF matches, but yeah, I remember all that stuff. I lived through it. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back and watch the Sandman match. I can't wait to. Yeah. So that was that, and then the other match that I watched that I'll spend a little bit of time talking about was from. I think this is making the rounds, especially in our group. But Evie was one who recommended that I watch it. So I did make some time to before this podcast. The from SSPW Volume 39, the First Generation Tiger Mask 45th Anniversary show
I
that
haven't
was
watched
held
it yet.
yesterday. Yeah, I haven't watched the whole show yet, and I will because the card is just so orchid coated across the board that yeah, it's gonna be hard for me not to. But I did absolutely go out of my way to watch Atsuka Murakami Takashi versus Fukunami Ishikawa and Fujiwara, and I am absolutely a proponent of old men wrestling. And I say this with the disclaimer of that I have not yet watched Ric Flair's last retirement match. But if you want to find a match to push your limits to see where your line is in terms of I am watching a match where I'm very worried about whether or not an old man is going to die. This is the match you want to watch.
I'd
Some of the work
rather
between
an old man die than a young man die. So
what about an old
yeah,
man, young
cool.
boy?
I put him first line. I'm saying that's probably. I bet half these guys want to go out that way.
That's a good
Fujiwara's
point.
probably like, I probably want to go out from a headbutt.
And you know what? He definitely, if he wants to go out with a headbutt, that's definitely he's given it a shot in this match. Within I think the first 2 minutes, he headbutts Murakami, and it looked weak. But then you realize that Murakami is bleeding, and you as the match continues, you do see a welt develop on Fujiwara's head, and you realize both how fragile human life is and how stupid one generation of wrestlers are in ways that I appreciate, just entirely across the board. I easily going to be on my easily going to be in my nominations for Hoot of the Year. I loved every fucking second of it. I won't spoil too much of it for you, but there are definitely some moments where you're worried that Fujiwara is either going to throw out his back, break his back, or have a stroke. So I mean, fucking 6.5 stars. I couldn't have appreciated it anymore. And yeah, I think that pretty much covers what I watched this week. And I definitely will be watching this entire show before next week's podcast. Whether or not I'll cover it, that's a different story. Since I still feel like I keep thinking about what Pat said like months ago when he was like, my cutoff point in terms of catch up is like if I don't get caught up by the by WrestleMania, he's just gonna like start fresh. I told myself I'd follow that same thing, but then GWE started, and I feel like I am so fucking behind on this year. So Lord knows what I'm gonna end up watching the rest of this week.
It worked out in my favor that there hasn't been a lot of stuff since WrestleMania weekend that I've wanted to watch. So I've been able to go back on that bit. You're like, okay, I've got some time. I'll catch up on NHB instead of whatever the fuck. You know, I don't want to watch Collision.
Yeah, same boat. I think the PPP Tokyo match is like really the first time like since WrestleMania where I was like, it's a Joshi match that like I actually am enthusiastic about. I say that 2 weeks ago I had to talk about Sorry and Iora, but yeah, that
I
that was
mean,
what whatever.
I'm not
Whatever.
excited for anything until August when they're doing Schlack versus Slade.
I was about to say that's what I'm looking forward to.
That is I've already decided match of the year.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
I don't care
a blast.
what Cord is fucking putting out on Saturday. Speaking of Dan, you excited? Saturday. New MLW on Beeps. I think Dan might have muted his mic because I no longer hear the children in his household.
Wait, am I?
Which is
I was.
unfortunate.
That's so funny because I have been talking and I was like, these guys are fucking assholes. Uh,
Well,
no, I'm gonna watch it, but I think I need to break it up, like half an hour at a time. Like I've needed MLW in my life, and I'm afraid that I'll just overdose on it. I'll watch the full 2
Well,
hours
they're only doing
immediately.
2 hours on Saturday. Yeah, I mean, that's like a single War Chamber show.
I know, but I'm saying I'm gonna miss it when it's gone. I'll have to wait all the way to next week. Um, no, yeah,
Oh,
obviously,
that's a good
I'm gonna
point.
watch that. I'm real excited because I think there's gonna be some Stardom girls at the AEW show I'm going to in Cincinnati, so I'm pretty fucking pumped for that. I get to see, all the stars.
you do
When
love
is
women's wrestling.
Speaking of loving women's wrestling, when is, Ricky Shane Page versus Nixon Newell at?
I think like tomorrow. No, Saturday maybe.
Oh,
This weekend.
okay. So that's Court's competition.
Is that airing on IWTV?
Probably. I think it's for a CCW show, so
It is, yeah.
it's a genuine question of will it air live or will they break the iPad that is their hookup
They
to
have
the
it
live
listed as
stream?
airing at 5 p.m. on Saturday. I want to make fun of them. Jimmy Lloyd, Nino Extremo, Ricky Shane Page, Nixon Newell, Masada, Joe Dredd, Eric Ryan, Toby Klein. That's all stuff that I might watch.
No? I mean, half of those I don't expect to be any good.
No,
2 of
no, no.
them are like, they might pull something off. They might not have let's put it this way, if there's something I've learned from the interminable, supremely annoying GWE discourse, especially in the last week or 2, there's such a thing as a good match, and then there's a pat good match, where I am watching with a completely different set of objectives than, whoever gives a shit about where fucking John Cena places in the GWE.
Like, did Jameson Shook get injured? I mean, I guess he did. Because now it's Eric Dillinger versus TBD.
Well, it
Lucky,
sucks if Jameson Shook got injured.
Lucky 13 versus Nick Gage.
That could be good.
Yeah. Nick Gage no-showed Europe, but I just wonder if can Nick Gage maybe not go to Europe?
Yeah, that was the sort of thing where they're like, "Oh, he had flight issues," and I'm like, "Was the issue that customs said you can't enter the country?"
That was my first thought. I was like, yeah, the issue is he's absolutely not allowed on that kind of flight. But
The issue was he got off the plane and they said, "Just turn around."
speaking of GWE, do you guys want to get into the big top? We're gonna get into GWE, and we're gonna get pretty deep in the Dave Meltzer star ratings.
Fuck you.
Okay, okay. No, I think
So
maybe
I think
instead.
it's important that we all go into extreme detail about what unit of deviation we use in our individual star ratings, whether or not it's important to do quarter star, eighth stars, tenth of a star.
Okay, first off, a tenth is crazy. You got to do an eighth, or you got to do a
Isn't that
16th.
what Ducky does?
Yes.
I feel
and
mean.
that I'm okay with.
I
I'm
feel
okay
mean when
with
I make
that.
fun of Ducky, so we're gonna move on. We're answering a
I will
bunch of
support Ducky.
questions.
I love and support you.
Listen,
Do it. Do it.
listen, Dan.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that Ducky has finally mastered fractions.
Sometimes Ducky goes on the Discord and they're like, "Hey, I have a test tomorrow and I don't speak this language. Can anyone help?" So what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
I was gonna say, like, it's amazing the number of times that Ducky's like, "Can you guys do my homework?"
It's like just
I
have.
mean, I'm happy they're not asking AI. So
I
it's
was just
better
gonna
than
say, just
that.
have ChatGPT do it. What are we talking
You
about?
might get a less deranged answer from
From
ChatGPT. I mean,
ChatGPT or
ChatGPT will absolutely tell
yeah.
Ducky to kill herself, but like that still might be better than some of the stuff you'll get from the people on this Discord.
You're doing great, Ducky. I'm very proud of you. The first Violent People festival will be at your graduation. We'll be hooting and hollering when you walk across the stage,
We're
if
all
that ever happens.
Well, it will if one of you can help her with the final right now.
That's a good point.
Um, how old do you guys think? I know we have lots of babies on the thing. Is this Chromat? Are they a child?
Chromat?
spiritually, if not physically.
I wanted to make a joke about them not having sex, but I was like, I can't make that joke on our Discord because it's just full of children who I don't want having sex.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, you don't yeah, saying like, "Haha, this 12-year-old's never done it," is,
Yeah, I
really casts
know.
a
That's
bad
why
look
I
on
wish
you.
I wish it was full of
Yeah.
more adults.
I will. That brings up a good point for me. I know I am everyone's favorite person in the Discord because of how many bots I keep inviting to join. Because I'm making the grave sin of trying to grow our network pretty regularly. But I did have a fun time when I was crafting the message that led to a bunch of people joining this week. I had like while I was typing it out, I was like trying to be like, "Come join our Discord." Like I almost typed out like everyone's either old and grumpy or like a 12-year-old. And I was like, I really cannot tell wrestling fans that there are a lot
Yeah,
of 12-year-olds
yeah.
in this Discord because they
That's like
fun
no,
Yeah,
really
holy
fast.
shit.
that's like, way back in like 2009 when I was poor and I was using SoulSeek to like anytime I heard a record was good, I'm like, okay, I'll just get on SoulSeek and look for that. I'm looking for this record and no hits whatsoever. I'm just like, what the fuck? How does no one on SoulSeek have it? It's not even showing up things with the word in there. And then it hit me that it was a self-titled album by the band Little Girls. So I had just put the term "little girls" into SoulSeek, and it was
Oh,
displaying nothing, and I was just like, "That's good. It's good that that doesn't work."
that's good and right. Um, no, I can say talk about Chromat because I think it was Chromat and Domich who they're the two that hang out in the
They do the watch parties, yeah.
yeah, they do the watch parties, and they when I went in the first time I went in there, there's like, "Oh, we've never listened to the show." I was like,
That's
"Cool."
awesome. I love
No,
that.
that I mean, I'll say that much in their favor, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, so they're not too dumb, they're not listening to this shit.
They're doing one thing right, at least.
So, instead of G to B, I thought for the big top, we could answer you guys wanna answer, like, 57 questions?
Sounds great.
Okay. Question number 1, why does
Dan,
Dan
quick, before we start, can you rank the questions?
first
Greatest
off,
question ever?
that's that's next week's big top. We're gonna answer them all this
Okay,
week, and then next week, rank them, and then whoever's
okay.
question is the worst, they get booted from the server.
Oh, man, it's not looking good for Porik. Our number 1 content provider, who we should plug,
But yeah,
did a
Pork wrote for the
rundown,
site,
did a Derby roundup.
and I barely had to edit this one.
Woo!
It's
Well,
great shit.
you barely did edit it. Let's
Yeah, I
say
guess
you
that's
barely.
true. I barely nothing. I
On
nothing.
the on the other hand, all the match summaries were a lot of, "It's not X, but Y." A lot of M dashes.
Oh, I don't see a single M dash in here. Scrolling,
See,
I'm
that's the
scrolling.
thing,
Yeah.
I like using M dashes, and then now that people are like, "If anyone uses an M dash, that means ChatGPT definitely," I'm just kinda like, "Oh, shit."
I don't mean to sound like Gabrielle Lutz, but I for my entire life have been such a big proponent of using M dashes in place of parentheticals. It is such a staple in
Yeah.
my writing style. It just it infuriates me to my
You know
core
where I
because I
think I you
believe
know where I think I got it from? I think I got it from comic books.
yeah,
Comic
that could
books
be
did a
yeah.
lot of that to signify, like, a pause in dialogue and stuff like that.
All right, nerds. Why does Dan? Anyone? I just do. Question for Dan. So this is 12 days old. Sorry. So the real estate agent never showed up for my viewing today. Is this just negotiation mind games? That's a classic power move. You're gonna need to show up at their house. Turn the tables.
And make an offer.
Make an offer on their house. Everything's for sale. Um, I think I've told the story in the pod, but since my sister got mentioned here today and we're answering a million questions, I should sidetrack. She was on couples therapy one time, and she made her Zoom. This was during COVID. She made her Zoom background the therapist's house, a picture of his house, because he said, "Well, I can't give out that information." And she goes, "I could find it." And he goes, "I don't think you can." So she did, and it made it her background. And I don't know how that man didn't immediately hang up.
That is the like, doing that to your medical professional or whatever you would wanna call it, your counselor, is just that is extremely my shit, I love it.
If you can't tell that she's related to me, there's that. All right. Question for the pod. At the time of recording, how many wrestlers who have ranked above Triple H in GWE are worse than Triple H? Hmm. Is there a way to see a list? I'm gonna say none of them. Just make it easier.
I don't remember what Triple H placed at. I mean, I'm trying to come up with something funny because I don't give a shit, but my not giving a shit about this question is completely overriding
Triple
any
H
joke that
was
might form.
239.
You know what? He's better than the Pillars. The Pillars are boring.
But wait, is that the question?
I don't know.
Okay, moving on. Questions for the podcast. What the hell is wrong with Steph and Quentin?
So much. Sorry. What? Can you try that again?
Question for the podcast. What the hell is wrong with Steph and Quentin?
Problem
Listen,
with
question asker. I don't know who asked the question, but it's 2026. You cannot make fun of people's neurodivergence. Grow up.
a few weeks ago, we made a pact in the founders chat, and I took it very seriously. And Dan, last week you broke it, and I'm very disappointed in you.
What was the
And I
pact?
do think that we should talk about. We can't talk about it in the air. We have to talk about it off the air.
Oh my god.
But I just want to be clear that it's important to me that all of us follow it. And this is the first time you broke my
Oh,
heart.
we all have
Now
to
you're
record with our
following.
shirts off.
I agree. That's exactly it.
Okay.
And Chris has to turn his camera on.
Yeah, Chris has to be the only one using the camera when recording, so it's extra weird.
And then I'm gonna post
Remember
it
when
on
Phil
other post-
Schneider was on and was just
He
like,
tried to do
"Oh,
that.
you guys don't turn the camera on." I was just kind of like, "Yeah, sorry, bud. You know, you're gonna be looking at my ceiling as I'm walking around the room."
This is a good one. What's the best VPR episode title? My favorite is Epic Kill Yourself.
That was a good one.
That's really tough to beat. I'm partial. This is such an old one, but Jordan Grace is in NXT and her voice is normal is one that I always remember. Um,
Oh man, I'm gonna give me a second here. I'm gonna scroll, opening up podcast because that's the thing. I don't remember the titles of any of these.
Mine probably. Mine's a tie of two. It's Who Killed Sabu. Because I remember I almost broke my finger trying to put that episode on. I was so excited to hear if you were actually going to turn it into a whodunit. And then my other favorite would be from the Snyder episode. It's called Dirt Baby. Which yes,
Okay,
great. I'm glad
I've got a
giggling.
couple that I had totally forgotten about. Saw Thoughts 3. The dogs are in the enclosed saw traps.
Great one. Great one.
Where was it? Fucking scroll. One is just called Band ... My Ass. And I don't know what we're talking about on that one, but that's a great title. And obviously episode 55, I Want the Green Cup.
episode 66. I'm gonna assume if this is one I wasn't here for. It's the only one not titled Violent People Radio number blank. It's just all the Conjuring films ranked.
I think Sam was trying to do a thing to like make it look like a clickbait
Well, yeah,
thing,
because
like on
here's
YouTube or
the
whatever.
description. All the Conjuring films ranked. The Conjuring films ranked. Is The Conjuring 4 the last movie? What is the best movie in the Conjuring series? Highest rated Conjuring movie. What is the order of all the Conjuring movies? All Conjuring universe movies ranked.
Yeah, no, Sam is just trying to fuck with SEO on that, I think.
That's really good. Oh my god.
It's not the best title, but
Especially because
is-
Sam never did rank the Conjuring movies.
I also need you to know that
he had promised that he was going to, and then never did.
That it is the 96th most listened to episode in our 100 episodes that have went out.
That's
Oh god,
ticked.
I want someone to reply to it being like, I thought this was going to be about the Conjuring.
So that did not work.
Wait, what's the number one most listened to episode?
Bad Wrestling, Better People, episode 24. But there's a bit of I don't want to get into the analytics. The site used to autoplay the podcast. And that is the week that the Hackenschmidt match went up.
Got it.
So the stats are
Got it.
a little messed up there. Not gonna lie.
Got it. Got it.
Um,
It's not the best episode name, but it is one of the few that references a bit, and it happens to represent the best bit in the history of this podcast. Violent People Radio episode 6, $3,000 for 30 hot dogs. Quite possibly the greatest Tanner getting angry that we've recorded, at least on this podcast. I've probably listened to that about
That was the era before I was on the show, and I was working
Yes.
overnight at a U.S. mail processing and distribution center, and I had to like walk away from what I was doing to avoid just like howling laughing.
This is the most southern a man has ever sounded in the history of this country.
leave the show, but I do think it's funny if eventually me and Chris get swapped out. I would love it. It's like, oh yeah, Violent People Radio episode 6. None of us used to be on back then.
Yeah, it's just me, Pat, fucking
Ducky.
Ducky, and fucking Nadine Smith.
Oh,
Okay, then I'm leaving. Yeah.
then I might join back.
No, I really want to hear about how great CM Punk and Terry Funk are.
I have
That's a real revelation.
I've saved some of those Google Docs before she took them down. I want to get into it.
I wouldn't have found this place if not for Nadine. So shout out to Nadine. I hope you're doing well, honey.
It seems like she's doing much better.
Yeah, she's doing great.
Yeah.
She's in the New York poetry community. That worked out really well for me.
I haven't heard anything
not.
about Nadine in months and months, so I can only assume Nadine is doing well just from the absence of hearing about like, oh, so it's the CM Punk person went crazy.
Being trans is really hard, and I have a lot of empathy for anybody who has to go through that, especially when you start HRT.
I mean,
Yeah, I do hope Nadine's doing well.
I'm a white cis male. I got it pretty rough too.
I'm
Question.
just gonna
Harder
say,
than
hey, public service message to anyone listening to this: take your meds. Especially someone who I know is on our Discord. I don't know if they listen to it, but who on their private Twitter said, "I'm going to stop taking my meds."
Oh,
If you have meds, take them.
take him. You want to get off him? Go to the doctor. Question for the pod: which player from the Knicks or the Cavs would fill the Wemby stopper role? I no longer acknowledge that the NBA exists, so you guys can answer this if you want.
Yeah, no, we're done with that. That's
Okay.
imagine
John
how I
Wall.
felt having to. I had to fucking deliver the New Yorker today with their
Ugh.
Knicks cover, and I'm just like, go fuck yourself, New Yorker.
Brother. Shout out to you, Dad. I hope you're smiling and saying a lot of really cool, not borderline racist things about Jalen Brunson from heaven.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the same thing, but about Jerry Lawler.
Question for the pod: what's your biggest fear?
Biggest fear, you said?
Yeah, fear.
Still doing this podcast after Dan and Chris bailed.
Dying before I buy Chris a Rubin.
That's a good one.
Letting down the people I love. Question for the pod: what is the biggest meal you ever had, and describe the after effects?
Okay, so we're going to take everyone back to the magical year of 2008. Ring of Honor was
I
doing
love
stuff.
2008.
Yeah, Ring of Honor was
Worked out
doing
well for
stuff.
you.
There were a bunch of things happening everywhere. Burger King introduced the quad stacker.
Oh yeah.
And you might wonder what the quad stacker is. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's imagine 4 Burger King burgers stacked up and as one burger. And so I am visiting friends and they say, okay, we got to go to Burger King because BK just brought back the rodeo cheeseburger. And this was a big deal. So I say, okay, and I see on the menu the quad stacker. And I'm like, well, I got to get that. I mean, that's just too funny not to eat. I eat it and I immediately am just like, I don't feel good. That was too much Burger King hamburger. It probably was not the actual biggest meal, but it's the one that stuck with me. It's like, oh, I think I just ate 3,000 calories of like ground up Brazilian children or whatever they put in Burger King meat. Not a good feeling. I'm glad they killed that sandwich.
You could probably still get it if you ask for it, you know?
I knew someone once who once said that, after when they had a hangover, their trick was to eat 2 quad stackers. It's not a coincidence that that person had a heart attack.
Um, 2 meals came to mind. The first one, similar to yours, when it was actually 2007, senior year of high school. We skipped school to go to Chipotle for lunch, and we had like a competition who could eat the most burritos with double meat. And I had 2 and like a bite of a third, and the winner had 4.5, and that man has also had a heart attack.
Oh, yeah, I do wanna shout out speaking of heart attack foods, shout out to anyone who's listening in Scotland because when I lived in Scotland once, I got deep fried pizza.
That actually sounds
Talk
awesome.
about something that just makes you feel bad about yourself after you eat it.
My cousin is really big in like the accounting community, which is weird, but whatever. Like, so I get invited to like all of her like events and banquets and stuff, and they're always like catered and the buffets. And there's one that sticks out. This was like 4 years ago, where for some reason I'm drunk because I started drinking at like 9 a.m. that day because the booze is just covered, like it's an open bar. So I'm drinking all day. So I'm wasted. And at one point, I don't get told to stop drinking. Someone comes up to me and they go, "You have to stop eating rolls." Because I guess I was eating so many rolls, and then I would go around, if someone had a roll on a plate, I go, "A roll for me," and, like, take their roll,
I can
and
imagine you saying it exactly like that too, just
I'm putting them in
drunk
my,
as
like,
shit, 10
my s
AM, like,
yeah,
"Oh, a roll for me."
I'm putting them in my pocket, and I'm just like, "These rolls are the best rolls I've ever had." So, like, again, not the most I've eaten probably, but, like, I between the booze and I guess 48 rolls, I was hurting so much the next day.
I'm gonna answer this question really indirectly, because I've had a lot of big meals. But the summer before I transferred to undergraduate school in New Hampshire, I had part of the reason why I wanted to leave Staten Island was because it's Staten Island, and another part is because like the orchid lore is fucking nuts. Like there are so many crazy wild tidbits about it. But I had just like I was so exhausted by the time like I hit 19 from like living so many lifetimes that like the summer before like I was just like I ain't going anywhere. I'm just hanging out with 3 people and we're not doing anything. And one thing that we used to do was we would drive around and see how much Slurpee I could drink. And I was getting really good at drinking a fuck ton of Slurpee. And one day while we were driving around, is Uncle Louis G's a chain outside of like the Northwest, or is that just something that like happens in
Never
Staten
heard
Island?
of it.
Yeah, never heard of it.
Okay, it's a if I think it's a Polish like frozen ice place, right? Like so you get like you know like Italian ice. It's like a different type of like frozen ice
Yeah.
like icy kind of thing. And we were like, we stopped at one. Yeah, me and my friend stopped at one, and we realized that there was like on my birthday, there was going to be at Uncle Louis G's, there was going to be a Polish ice frozen ice eating contest. And since I had been drinking so much Slurpee for the last like 3 weeks, we were like, all right, well, Orga's going to do this on her birthday. And so then what I decided to do is start upping my Slurpee intake to like what I was saying was I was quote training for the Uncle Louis G's contest. I show up. I'm 19. It's only children.
Oh,
And
no.
the parents are and I'm like, I don't fucking care. I'm gonna kick the shit out of these kids. The parents start complaining, like they're like, "Oh, it's like not fair for a grown person to be in this." And I'm just like, I'm arguing with the owner. I'm like, "Look, I've been training for this. There's a $25 Uncle Luigi's gift card on the line, and I might never see this island again. So I'm here to win. I'm not make friends." I get my ass wiped by like fucking 3 9-year-olds. I think I came in second to last. Then I started getting mocked by the fucking children. It was great. One of the best days of my life.
Oh my god.
Shout out Uncle Luigi.
I thought that was gonna be like the, Homer's Enemy. I thought you were gonna enter the kids
Mhm.
contest and everyone supports you, but instead you lost and
Nope.
got ridiculed.
I got ridiculed.
That's
Yeah, I was getting made fun
beautiful.
of by a lot of chubby Italian 9-year-olds. It was awesome. It was great.
I have, like, Slurpee PTSD because the worst shift of my life working at a Wendy's, like, the day I decided to quit, I'm 17 years old. I had to walk home, and it's only a mile, but I had worked, like, all day, and I'm walking home, and someone drives by and just there's no way they could ever do the second time, hits me directly in the face with a Slurpee. And, like, that sticks
Oh,
out as,
oh,
like, one
oh.
of the worst days of my life. Like, I'm just like I was, like, thinking, "I'm gonna quit this job," and then Slurpee hits me and I go, "No, for real, I quit this job." I don't know why the job was to blame for the Slurpee, but it's all connected.
Nah, if it's fair. God,
Um,
I've had like 30 moments like that this week.
this week,
No Slurpee, no Slurpee, no Slurpee. Just
well, just
thinking
quitting
about.
your job. I was like, "Okay, 30 times again with the
Yeah,
Slurpee, eventually you gotta be the blame. What are you doing?"
I do like saying no Slurpee like it's no Diddy.
No Slurpee, no Slurpee. Man. All right, we're blowing through these questions. Only about 48 more to go. Question for the pod. What is your least favorite letter?
can you ask these three at the same time just
What's
to
your
actually
favorite
speed it
letter?
up?
And also, what do you think is the most average letter? I'm giving this too much thought. I got no time for Z. My favorite letter is probably
Okay,
T.
but what about when you say like the boys, but there's a Z at the end, like the Dudley
Shit,
boys, the Hardy
I
boys?
actually have a lot of time for Z, and now that you say it like that, 'cause I love putting Z's instead of S's. You're right. Fuck.
My favorite letter is any Wordle letter I get in turn 1. Whatever it happens to be, that is my favorite letter in the moment, and my least favorite letter is whatever I don't guess on a Wordle.
My least favorite letter is when it's a double letter on a Wordle. I'm too stupid to realize.
Okay, we gotta go for about an hour about how much
My
those
God.
things fucking make me so mad.
I'm just gonna say MLW.
Okay, that's beautiful. We have Wordle, like the board game version for my family, and it's surprisingly fun. It's just like you don't need it.
I'm
You could just
sure.
use paper, but like it's got the little tiles to cover. Like so, someone's the judge, and they go around saying, "Oh, you have a yellow, you have a green," and then occasionally someone will misspell a word, and the family fucking explodes.
Oh, man.
But or
It's
they're
like
like, "Oh,"
fucking
or
blood in the
it'll
water.
be like the 4th round, and they're like, "Oh, actually, in round 1, you had a green, and I forgot to tell you." And it's like, "Well, this is all
Tune in
fucking
for
invalid."
episode. Tune in for episode 200 of VPR. Be playing Wordle.
Playing Wordle. Wacky
We
line question.
should.
Wacky line question. Should I get a mini fridge for my office or go whole hog and get a garage fridge? I am fully in support of garage fridge. I got a garage fridge, nothing but drinks. It's the best.
I mean, I don't get to use either fridge, so I don't really care.
I mean, you might.
Do what you want. I'm not unless I get to use
How do
one
you
of them.
know you're never getting invited to Tanner's house?
Well, there's some good reasons I'm never getting invited to Tanner's house.
Orchid spent $500 on his wife hot dogs. Orchid has an open invite as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's why the rest of us, it's gonna be like, "Hey, what have you done for me lately?"
To add to that story and my additional anxiety about it was uh, Tanner's grandpa got sick that day, right? Like he was in the hospital.
Yeah, yeah.
And so like I was just thinking if one of those orders slipped through and some random fucking trans woman just buys this guy's wife hot dogs, like how fucking weird would that? I was having such a day last week. I'm so happy it's not last Thursday. One of the best days of my life.
Which what deliverable food would be the most insulting to receive when your grandpa's sick or hurt?
I think $60 worth of hot dogs,
It's up
probably,
there.
right?
So I've got a story like that. It doesn't involve food, but a good friend of mine when I was in college sadly took his own life. But the timing of it ended up being very, very funny in that I had just sent him a letter because a bunch of friends went on a vacation. We went on a boys' trip to Butte, Montana, and there was an Evil Knievel festival. That's why we went, not just because of the funny name. We wanted to see the stuntmen do cool shit. So we went to the Evil Knievel festival in Butte, Montana, and he couldn't come, so I took a bunch of porno that was taped up on the wall in a men's room. I stole the like Playboy centerfolds or whatever it was. I stole the barroom bathroom porno and mailed it to him with a note. Something I forget what the note, basically said words to the effect of like "wish you were queer" or something stupid like that. It arrived after he died.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
And it was opened by, his family, reached out to me. They were like, "We thought it was funny, we were glad he had such good friends." And I'm just like, "I am so glad you thought that was funny," because
That's right. We are pressing charges, but
yeah, I know. Why are you sending our dead son pornography?
Question for the pod: do I pour the cocktail into the milk or the milk into the cocktail to clarify it? I always forget which one. Now I thought this person that asked this was a bartender, but I think you pour the cocktail into the milk. Follow
I'm
up:
gonna trust you, Dan.
who can chug the most whole milk without puking in the crew?
Tanner. Is Tanner part of the
Is
crew? Or is
Tanner
the
part of
crew
the
the
crew?
core four?
Tanner's
They
the
didn't
answer.
clarify.
If it's the core
Yeah, they didn't
4,
clarify. Yeah.
I kinda lean towards Chris.
Me too. Me too.
I think Chris would be able to keep his cool longer than
I'm
the
a
re like,
2% guy.
Get that out of my life.
I'm out. I throw up so fast. I don't remember the last time I had dairy milk. Wait, now I do. Never mind.
Okay, follow-up question: make the winner chug until they throw up. 2, that's Chris, he's not here, I can't do that. Q for the P: which WWE superstar should have a fight on the UFC White House card? Cody Rhodes.
I'm gonna say Tatum Paxley.
That was the same thing. Tatum Paxley or Brindley Reese.
Well, she's not a superstar anymore. She's retired. She's just a personal trainer.
Yeah, well, there's still time.
Question about the pod: what is the guy saying violent people and the show open from? That's from Briscoe promo, I linked it there. Being in
Thank you
this
for asking.
did you not know?
Yeah, I mean, that's such an important promo to me.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad that person asked.
Question for the podcast. That's a John Kronos shout out right there too. Second one in the show. Question for the podcast: odds as the show makes it to episode 200. I lean towards
I mean,
pretty
what
damn
else do we
good.
have going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this is how I chill out on a Thursday night now. At this point, I'm kinda like, okay, the fact that people are listening to it is whatever.
It's
Yeah,
insane
I
that
think
people listen to it.
I mean,
it's feeling pretty good.
we have what, 300 people in the Discord? Only a few of them are bots, and I
Orchid is
think of
trying
those
real hard
people
to change that.
yeah,
I am.
yeah.
I do think
of
it
those
is worth pointing. Good.
of those
Good, Pat.
300 people in our Discord, I'm proud that we have 15 dedicated listeners.
Thank you, Isabel. I do.
Speaking of a good reason to sign up for the Discord, Isabel's journey through ECW is appointment reading for me.
Where's that happen?
Old
Old
wrestling channel.
wrestling.
Isabel's been getting home from work, putting on 1995 ECW, and I'm just like, it is bringing me so much joy to see someone else experiencing this for the first time
How much of the
We gotta do
chaos?
some watch along.
engaging with it in a very Isabel way, as opposed to like just spamming star ratings for fucking Chris Candido versus Raven or whatever. I don't think Candido was in ECW in '95, but I might be remembering
He
wrong.
was.
It wasn't really worth
Nah,
talking
he
about,
wasn't.
but I watched a ECW Wichita fan cam, and the main event was like Carino, Jack Victory, Justin Incredible, somebody else, but they were against Tajiri, Raven, Sandman, and Tommy Dreamer, and I was like, that is so fucking fun as a house show main event.
That is, I mean, the downside is that I cannot imagine how much New Bane was going through half the people in that match.
Oh. Well, yeah. Like I said, definitely not worth going out of your way to check out, but like, I just know that if I was there, it would have been the fucking shit. Question for the pod. Hey, y'all, what's up?
Not much.
Question
We're doing
For the
VPR.
pod, if you could ask any question to any other pod and they had to answer honestly, what pod and what do you ask?
We just got this question a few weeks ago. My answer is always going to remain the same. I need to know who the anonymous woman Dave Metzler was having sex with.
Pat, you got anything?
Yeah, I'd ask Effie, what was the deal with the argument I saw him having with Otis Koger outside the Showboat once?
It was the same answer you had a couple weeks
Was
ago
it?
that came up. Yeah.
Okay.
I think,
Well, I mean, I don't. I've been listening to Effie's podcast while I work because I'm always in need of new stuff to listen to. I've been listening to a bunch of Effie's podcasts surprisingly decent listen.
I'd I guess I wish Court Bauer had a podcast still. Did that ask,
Oh my god.
will you hire me?
Dude, the fucking MLW podcast network circa 2015.
You'll
Those
never
were the
top that.
podcasts I would listen to that shit while I was working, like, before the store opened. I'd be like, "Okay, this is the one I have to put on while I'm getting the store set up and have to turn off before any human being comes in, because it's just Conan being like, "Alright, so then, I'm in Iran right now, boom." And then the waiter looked at me and he had the gay eye. And, that telling a story about, like, so, the gay eye, MVP, he would say, like, "Okay, that guy's got the gay eye, and you know what that means." And MSL would say something stupid, and no one would care. Court would just egg them on.
I almost told this story when I think Isabel was talking about which one's the gay ear for an earring. When I was at the retina doctor talking about losing my left eye, I said, "Oh no, which one's the gay eye?"
You should have asked Conan.
It got a big laugh from everyone but one woman in the room. I don't know what her job was there. She was like an assistant or something, but she just glared at me.
How many people needed to come? How many people were in the room?
Well, it was me, my sister was there because I'm a baby, and I need someone with me and the doctor when I'm losing my eye. The doctor and the doctor's assistant. I don't wanna call her a nurse because she didn't seem like a nurse. She seems like she's probably some sorta, you know, retina doctor in training. I'm trying not to be problematic as I'm making gay jokes, you know what I mean?
I'm so speaking of the MLW network though, I'm so happy someone on YouTube went and posted all the old talking shops. Talk about just like they are so lucky that no one like this was all pre AEW and the only people listening to this stuff were like actual diehard wrestling freaks on Twitter as opposed to engagement bait freaks like there are now. Because oh man, Luke Gallows, he would say some shit.
Q for the pod. Kevin Steen thoughts?
Y'all need
Indifferent.
Jesus. You'll need to learn how to move through your emotions faster.
Yeah, here's the
That's
thing
my
with Kevin
thought.
Steen. I just don't give a shit. I don't seek out his matches. I don't really enjoy him that much. He doesn't mean anything to me, but I also don't really give a shit if other people enjoy Kevin Steen matches. The whole thing, people whipping themselves into a frenzy for 2 days about like we're on Kevin Steen watch. It's just like, who gives a shit where Kevin Steen is in the GWE? If you care that much about it, fucking touch a titty. I mean, go outside, do something.
Counterpoint. Ranked way too fucking high. Sam's right. That's outrageous. And here's my thing. If you like Kevin Steen, that's fine. Just say you like Kevin Steen and you started liking him when he was in WWE. They'll be like, he was the king of the indies. It's like, what are you talking about? He wasn't the king of his own tag team. It's ridiculous. Which brings us to our next point.
I rank Kevin. No, I
You
rank
put
Kevin Steen. I'm gonna fucking make this podcast go on longer.
you
Yeah,
rank Kevin
I rank
Steen?
Kevin Steen. He definitely. I did. I ranked him, and I will say the reason why I ranked him is that I don't necessarily personally. First off, we all have our own criteria for how we end up ranking matches, and the thing that I do always appreciate about Kevin Steen is that fair answer to the question, is he ever the best wrestler in his own tag team? Is he ever the best wrestler in his own matches? Absolutely the fuck not. But I am all for an input guy, and people when they're against him can absolutely get the fuck a lot out of themselves in their matches. He's a really good person to play off of. That's it. That's it. And the thing is, if you disagree, I fucking say fair. Recommend more people for me to watch. I got 10 more years to vote. I'm sure he's not going to make it in 2036 for me.
Let me
That's it.
let me
And
throw this your way though. If you would have not
alright.
ranked Kevin Steen, Sabu would have been one spot higher.
You know what? Guess what? I still had a great weekend with my wife, and
Hmm.
I'm not a virgin, so I'm fine.
Okay. Well,
Mhm.
all right.
Yeah.
You guys aren't gonna love this next one then. Salt Trap, you would put Kevin Steen in. Sound like you guys are gonna fucking, I don't know, not
I
murder
haven't
him
seen any
based
of
on
the
pro
Saw
wrestling.
movies, so
Don't say shit like that on the podcast.
The thing is with Kevin Steen, you don't want to put him in a saw trap. You want to put him in a jackass trap to lure out Sami Zayn. You have the giant hand about to whack Kevin Steen in a hallway.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll just put him in like a bunch of syringes or whatever. Remind him of CZW. Are you proud of VPR? Very much so.
Oh yeah,
I was
especially
more
this episode. We're firing on all cylinders.
I was more proud of VPR before I was a part of it, like, oh man, my boys. But now that I'm a part of it, I'm not proud of it at all.
Oh god. Uh,
Yeah, you're really dragging us down.
it
I
was
am.
nothing but bangers till you got here. We never had any
It
down
was
weeks.
never.
Q for the P. Can we find a way to auto filter that stupid fucking image of the whale from the server so I don't have to see it anymore? Probably. But I could also probably
I'm
find a way
gonna
to keep
say
these bots out.
if we can find a way to one person in particular find their library of image reactions and filter all of them, I would be very happy.
I'm gonna ask these next two together. Best wrestling theme pub quiz name. Best wrestling trivia question for a trivia night.
All right, so best wrestling trivia question. I'm gonna take care of this one while you two figure out our pub team name.
The fuck does
Like our team
so
name.
like so we're the
Wait.
team.
Oh,
Well,
it
I
doesn't it's
mean,
a themed
I'm
pub
not
quiz name. That makes it think we're naming the quiz.
Okay, so here's the trivia question.
Okay.
The same man was the last man to be eliminated in the battle royales in both WrestleMania 2 and WrestleMania 4. Who was he? Who eliminated him in each?
Why is that the question?
Because I clicked a random DDT Digest midweek update,
Okay.
and that was the trivia question.
Alright, that brings me
The
back.
answer is Bret Hart, who was eliminated by both Andre the Giant in WrestleMania 2 and Bad News Brown in WrestleMania 4.
I wouldn't have got that. Um,
Oh, you're obviously
my
not a big Bret fan.
my best wrestling trivia question is probably, are regular fries or sweet potato fries better? I say regular.
know if you understand this question, but
No,
that's
I'm
fine.
moving on to the next question.
Oh yeah, no,
Oh,
regular. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
there was a place in Manchester, New Hampshire called Pappy's Pizza that did seasoned crinkle cut fries, which are still my gold standard.
Manchester? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shit. I'm gonna talk about Pappy's in a minute.
This one's funny.
It's
Question for the pod.
still around.
Any good wrestling podcasts launching this week that you recommend? No. That was over 7 days ago.
I think it's about time Porik starts a new one. So
That's a good point.
Another question for the pod. Any other candy I should add to this for the candy table at my wedding? I'm thinking some more chocolate. Definitely more chocolate. There's a picture here. I don't know what any of these are, if I'm being honest. Is this person from a different country? Oh,
possibly, I think I
yeah.
remember seeing flying saucers, which people were commenting on.
I'm seeing fizzy cola things. I'm seeing mini
Oh
frogs,
yeah,
pink and
those
white
little root beer
mice,
candies. No,
mega
good.
jazzles. I mean, I would just throw some candy bars on there. Maybe some Sour Patch Kids. I don't know.
Now, this is one of the things you gotta worry about at a wedding, though, and granted, I got married in Texas, is the heat, and so I think that's one thing to just be cognizant of is
Is melting is what you said?
chocolate, it's yeah, because you gotta, you gotta maintain. Last thing you want is, like, everyone last thing you want is to, like, have everybody getting chocolate stains on their hands at your fucking wedding. So just be cognizant about that. I think you're off to a great start. I think the one thing that you're missing here is anything that's hard. I would maybe consider a Skittle, a Jolly Rancher,
I was gonna say
something in that
Skittles or
nature.
Gobstopper.
Gobstopper wouldn't be a bad look either. Yeah, but you're definitely on the right track here, I'll say that much.
I'm not as familiar with the candy table. What's become pretty common around here that I'm a big fan of is the pizzas halfway through the reception.
Ooh,
It's just a fucking
that's
cool
good.
move when, like, you're all
That's a
dancing, you're having a great time, and then, like, you see, like, 20 pizzas show up. It's like, "Alright, this is a good fucking wedding." Um, Thoughts on having a candy table at the wedding is I think any food's good. I think weddings are good.
I have such a s I have such a strong opinion about this, I have to let it out. It'll be
Let's hear it.
quick. Um, like, my wedding was the best fucking day of my life. Like, besides the fact that, like, my one downside of my wedding was that my wife looked beautiful and her hair looked fantastic, but it took longer than expected. So, there was about a 25-minute period where I thought she was having second thoughts, when the reality what was happening, she was just making her hair look pro. I will love happily post some photos in the founders chat. She looked great. Her hair looked amazing. But the one thing that I'll just say about your wedding is that, like, people will often say, "Oh, you can't do this at a wedding. Oh, you can't do that at a wedding." Here is the fucking thing about a wedding, and if I had learned this lesson before, I would potentially have a much better relationship with my family. But your wedding is the one day in your life that gets to be entirely the fuck about you and nobody the fuck else. So if you wanna have a fucking candy table, have a fucking candy table. Do whatever the fuck you want. It's your opportunity to throw a great party, have lots of people, they'll enjoy themselves. Be cognizant of that. But more than anything else, this is a day for you. And you're never gonna have a day that is as like fucking solely centered as you again for the rest of your fucking life. So if you want a fucking candy table, have a motherfucking candy table. Do whatever the fuck you want. Motherfucking congratulations. Let me know when your wedding is so I could just blast you with fucking celebration emojis. Because marriage is great.
I'm looking at a perfect gift too because I have open while we do this. Danny DeMonto and Vixen are doing a whatnot auction of just random stuff, and the item currently up for auction is a triple autographed picture, where Glenn Jacobs has signed it as Isaac Yankem, Kane, and Diesel.
Sick.
That is, I mean,
Who
yeah.
who
Or
who asked this question?
which question? That the wedding question?
Yeah, the
I think
wedding
it's
one.
it's
Amen.
Eamon getting married,
Amen.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
Eamon's getting married, which I'm
Eamon, you're gonna fucking Eamon, motherfucker. Let me know the day I'm getting you and your wife some beautiful
you're
Rubens.
gonna
Do me
have
a
so
favor,
many
shoot me a
fucking hot
message.
dogs, you won't know what to do.
Eamon,
Now
let
that's the
us know. I
classy
can't.
move.
Oh,
Is
so happy to
halfway
hear
through the
you're
reception, the hot dog truck pulls up.
married. Hey, I'm about to sell a $250,000 house in Staten Island. I might actually figure out a way to get a whole hot dog truck to Eamon's wedding. I like Eamon. Eamon can have a hot dog truck. Not all of y'all can, but Eamon can have a hot dog truck.
Eamon is one of the top 5% in this fucking hellhole of a Discord.
And
Absolutely.
so is the boy listening to this. Thank you
Everyone
so much
listening to
for your
this, yeah.
listening.
Just keep tuning in. I'll name drop you soon. I can't find it. I don't know why I wanted to find it. There's a picture. I was at a wedding. I was at a wedding, like, forever ago, and I accidentally, like, stumbled upon the first look photos. Like, I walked where I shouldn't have walked. So there's just, like, a beautiful photo of a groom seeing his bride, and then me in the background looking like, "Uh-oh." I was looking for something. I had somewhere to be, and I was like, "Oh, I'll cut through this little path here." They were busy on that path. They were doing something. Um, Q for the P. What wrestling themed Lego set would you like to exist?
Uh, Inferno match.
Oh man, I have some of my cousin's Legos from Orlando. She bought Legos at the Lego store. I never gave them back to her yet.
For me, it's
That's my answer.
the night Kimono Wanalea dance the top DCW arena.
To me, it would be when it's done. I'd like to have a set that's just like the full list of the top 100 in WWE. What album is most like your favorite wrestler? Well, that's pretty
I don't even
easy.
remember who my favorite wrestler is.
You forgot your favorite wrestler?
I forgot my favorite wrestler.
Oh my god. Uh, I forgot my favorite wrestler's album. Oh, it's You Can't See Me.
My f Whatever Pat listens to is my answer. Like, I'm a big Sabu fan, but, like, I don't listen to a lot of music that's
Let
like
me see.
Sabu.
I'll
I feel
open
like
up my
Pat does.
thing and see what my most recent thing was.
You didn't ask, but I'll do
Okay,
it for
so
you.
your Sabu music is Boys to Men.
That's exactly what I knew you listened to. Yeah, that's Sabu is exactly like Boyz II Men self-titled.
Mine is, Debut by Cat's Eye. is the last thing I listened to on my Spotify, so that's if you guys were wondering. Question for the pod, fantasy football again this year? Absolutely.
Do I have to play?
You don't have to play, but you do.
You just have to deal with Dan being a bitch about it and being
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Pat's too much of a pussy to do fantasy football."
I don't think I ever said that.
I would
I
love to
implied it
play,
You
but
said
heavily.
that on the pod. Various people called me a coward repeatedly.
Okay, I definitely call you a coward. That sounds correct, actually, yeah.
I would love to play. I just haven't watched the NFL since the Jets were good, so I don't know, 1998.
It's full of
Yeah, so I don't
fucking kids from Europe that don't even know we're playing real football. It's
Yeah, that's a
fine.
good
Honestly, that
point.
makes it even funnier.
Yeah, I think it would be fun if I hop in there with no idea when I'll just pick whoever I think, like I will keep up the roster, and I'll just pick all the cutest men. That's what I'll do.
Just look up whoever is going to be definitively injured at the start of the season and just
Mhm.
draft all of them immediately.
Oh,
Um,
that's a good idea.
Try to tank the fantasy football leagues.
That's true. Like, as a Jen and Wizards fan, that does feel, like, fitting, right?
Oh, this one's really for Pat. Why did the caravan use
Mhm.
wheels when you're going across a desert? How did the wheels get traction on sand?
Well, that's something you'd have to ask the person who made the module. Um, I assume that it was more of not like a constant sand dunes everywhere desert, but a generally stony, flat desert, like a plains kind of desert, like more sun-baked. But Isabel also got upset with me when I said the wheels are magic, so I'm doubling down.
Seemed like the wheels are magic to me. Here's a question. I have questions. You have a pod. Had you have been Hulk Hogan, not had you have been Terry Bollea, those are two separate and legally distinct entities. At what point in your
Different penis
career
sizes.
At what point in your career do you honestly think the thought might have occurred to you, "I get betrayed by my friends quite a lot. Maybe I am at least partially the problem."
The thing is, I think that if Hulk Hogan ever realized that, he would be sapped of his power
I was just
instantly. It
thinking,
would be like cutting
yeah,
Samson's hair.
yeah, like, he's not Hulk Hogan if he doubts himself.
Yeah, so
My answer.
Eamon will appreciate this. I liken him to the character Gladiator from Marvel Comics, from the Shi'ar Imperial Guard, who has Superman-like powers so long as he maintains his belief and conviction in himself. If he doubts himself, that he can do anything that he thinks he can, but if he doubts himself, it all goes away. That's Hulk Hogan.
Okay, and this is, not really a follow-up. Second question, where do you think the Spurs will finish in the Prem next season? And we were talking about this
18th.
before we started, recording, I think, right?
I think they're going all the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're 18th.
I think anywhere between 8 and 10th.
Number one with a bullet.
I I would like to say, again, I don't have a gambling problem. I put $5 on Mikel Oyarzabal to be the top goal scorer in the World Cup. So if any of our friends or listeners that know what soccer is could tell me, am I gonna get any money there? Was that good? Was I onto something? Question for Dan, that's me. Who do you want to replace Kenny Atkinson? Seems like he's gonna get tossed after the season. You're wrong. He didn't get tossed, and the NBA doesn't exist. Question for the pod. Does anyone want to buy the purple Mohamed Salah from the World Cup sticker album? I make a good price.
I'm good,
Yeah,
but
you can
thank you.
you can DM me. I might be interested in that.
Someone needs to control your
Um,
spending.
Me?
Yeah. You're
I'm
buying hot
I'm
dogs for
good.
strange women and stickers.
I don't. I look. I'm autoimmune and disabled. I don't leave the house much, and my wife just. I make a lot of money.
Oh shit.
I
All right.
I just inherited a $250,000 from my incredibly problematic parents. I can buy myself a Natsupoi
Listen,
book.
I inherited $0 when my
You
problematic
can you
father
could
died, so
literally
it's
buy
all
yourself a Netsupport.
I could not. I'm not Andrew Cesar, but who
You
I
are
guess
you live
it's great that
you live close to Andrew Cesar though, right?
I did not know
He's
that.
a Dallas
I
boy.
I
would hope
believe
not.
I believe he's in Texas.
He's a Dallas boy. You're
Oh,
3 hours away.
I mean, that's not, it's like saying that, like, Pat lives next to Sam.
I do.
I think Pat and Sam should hang out, and I think
Okay.
you and Andrew should hang out. You're making my point.
Alright,
I think Sam should
but I'm not
drive the 7
allowed
hours to hang out.
to message her and do Cesar though, right? None of us are. So I can't
So
really
with
Pat would
That's
Cesar,
the
have
prime
facilitated it.
directive.
all right, but Cesar has also started using a lot more Japanese terms in his tweets, and it's gotten very funny because it's just like incomprehensible now.
Can I let you guys know
He also keeps saying strong style Ue-sama I almost said Hassan Hanan, which is just now that's her name in my head. It's not Hanan, it's strong style Ue-sama I keep wanting to say Hassan because Ue-sama Hassan rolls off my tongue easier. This is what Cesar's fucking fucked up brain is doing to me.
I
I
want you
do
guys
think it'd be really funny if Hassan Piker was in Star.
this is something that, like, is a me like, I'm telling on myself here. I found who he is. Like, I looked Andrew up. He's shockingly old.
I'm not shocked.
I'm a
What?
little shocked. I didn't think he was, like, an elderly man, but he is.
Oh, no, no, no. His tweets are so elderly man tweeting into the void code.
This is the question just for you, Pat. If the evil orcs had gotten their hands on the results of the greatest wizard ever, who would they have rigged the vote for?
That is a good question. Orc Hogan.
Oh, yeah. Question
Or
for the
maybe I guess it would be Orc Ogan, but you know.
question for the podcast. Who's your favorite detective?
I'm glad for this I'm really glad for this question. I read a very like I stopped reading a few years ago just because the indie lit community just really got fucking exhausting and like I just really couldn't deal with it anymore. But when I did start reading a few years ago, I really got into this very specific type of earliest 20th century Japanese detective novel, mostly written by this guy Sheshe Yokomizu. And he has a series about a detective named Kosuke Kindachi, who, yeah, I really love him. His whole thing is that he's really charming, but he has a lot of dandruff. And I think that's a really interesting quality for a very smart detective to have. So that'd be my answer.
So was this just detectives in general? Was this specifically literary detectives
I
or
think it's just any detective.
Just detectives.
Because my
okay?
two
Because
answers
I
were
haven't
TV. Because
I
I'm
haven't
like,
read the Hammett novel that the movies were founded upon, but I am going to say favorite detective Nick and Nora Charles from The Thin Man and the attendant following sequel movies.
Does JB Fletcher count as a detective? No, right? Because she's an author. Where's
I
Colette
think
when I need her? You don't even.
yeah, that gets into like, you know, kind of pro versus semi-pro versus amateur stuff.
Yeah.
I would say
That
she's like an NCAA detective where she can't get paid
why
for it.
did why does it take until like season 6 before everyone's like, this bitch has been around like 700 murders? Is it possible that she's killing people? It took a really long time for people to be like, a lot of motherfuckers get murdered around this hoe.
I also think Murder, She Wrote existed in an era where shows like Murder, She Wrote were not really designed to be watched continuously every single episode. They're
Sure.
shows I miss these kind of shows, which could only have existed in that time. You can't really do it anymore. Shows that just kind of they're just on. Like you turn the TV on and Murder, She Wrote is there, so you're like, okay, I guess I'm watching Murder, She Wrote for a bit. And then you might not watch another episode for 6 months.
Do I have some recommendations for you? Jesus Christ. There are a lot of terrible shows that you can just put on.
I need to like I've fallen so far, but I've got my list of, you know, shows that I keep meaning to check out and I never check out any of them. I've got literal paper shopping bags full of DVDs that I haven't gotten to yet. And yet, you know, I'm wasting my time fucking watching NHB The Chains. So
Yeah, I think you'll probably be good without the Lincoln Lawyer in your life.
I will 100% be good without the Lincoln Lawyer.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
I like watching clips from the Lincoln Lawyer when they show up on TikTok. My favorite detectives are probably Finn Tutuola, Ice-T from Law and Order SVU,
That's a good
and
one.
I really enjoy Idris Elba playing Luther in Luther.
That's another good one.
Yeah.
I
Choose your
saw a trailer. Did you know Idris Elba's in the He-Man movie?
I didn't know this He-Man movie existed till, like, last week.
I saw him in the trailer, I'm like, "That guy looks like Idris Elba." And then I'm just think but in my brain, I was like, "There's no way Idris Elba is going to be in the He-Man movie," and I don't know why I thought that, because obviously you just say, "Hey, Idris Elba, here's a check," and he's like, "Great, what am I doing?" I know I saw Mortal Kombat 2, piece of shit.
Shocking.
Yeah, I mean, the first relaunched Mortal Kombat was not that great, but it was a million times better than this. Real first day of acting school energy from some of those people. The only people who were good in it were the people who realized that the movie was very, very stupid and were playing the parts accordingly. The guy who played Kano, the guy who played Quan Chi, who was just being a weird little sniveling worm man. But then you had like good actors in it who were getting out. The guy who played Raiden, whose name I forget, um, he was getting swallowed up by his costume. Like his crazy costume was overpowering any attempt he made to put any gravitas into anything he was doing. And this gets to my big problem with the movie, which is that Mortal Kombat is fundamentally stupider than wrestling, if you can imagine such a thing. And it treated it as seriously as the Bible. Just dog shit movie. It makes me hope that Street Fighter makes $10 billion.
I hope that because I need Cody and Roman to really take off in Hollywood.
I think this Jason Momoa guy needs a shot.
Q for the P. What is your favorite boy band? Backstreet Boys. I stand on it.
Does Boys to Men count? Because I mean, I probably
Yeah.
Boys to Men probably has the
mean-
most songs that I would actually go back and listen to for pleasure.
Boys is in the name.
That's true. That's true.
Orchid.
Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder. Can y'all hear me?
No, yeah,
I can hear you.
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Okay.
I would have preferred you say like O-Town or something. All right.
Really good answer.
Question for the podcast. I'm going to my bachelor party on Saturday. If you had to throw a bachelor or bachelorette party for your co-host, what activities would you select?
So I want to shout
My
out a friend of mine
God.
named Matt who had probably the best bachelor party thing that we did when he got married. We went and did paintball. That was it. That was a good bachelor. And then the guys running the course were like, "All right, you're here for a bachelor party, so we're setting up all these games you can do where you're basically just shooting each other with paintball guns, point blank." It got very jackass very quickly, and I loved it.
The same wedding I mentioned earlier that I was in, the bachelor party for that was we woke up, round of golf, getting drunk, go home, change, Brazilian steakhouse, keep drinking, eat a stupid amount of food, and then the guy getting married, his dad had like a giant basement, and I don't know, I didn't really understand where he got 12 recliners, and we watched the UFC, but we all fell asleep on our individual recliners. It was a hoot and a half. But yeah, I'll just probably bring the
If
Coke.
I had to throw a bachelor party for my co-hosts, that means that they're not marrying me, which means that I'm bitter, and I'm probably not going to attend. If it's for Chris, I'm probably figuring out a way to sabotage it so that he remains single because I'm unavailable. And yeah, I'm greedy like that. That's my answer.
I was at a bachelor/bachelorette, like, co-party, and it was awful.
Mm-mm.
It was not not the vibe. Question for the pod, sort of courtesy for Orchid or Orchid. Which member of the core 4 is the most closeted? This is from Dokomoy.
Do you have the context for this question?
I think the context is, which member of the core 4 is the most closeted?
Okay. Well, if it's courtesy of me, then yeah, and you would know.
Okay. I will say Tim brought up an interesting fact and made me count. I have 13 or 14 closets, depending on how you define a closet. I'm just saying.
All right. So, which one of you was angriest about Kenny Omega's placement on the GWE?
I don't know if any of us were. I couldn't give a shit about
Okay.
Kenny Omega.
Okay. Great. Okay. So then let's get to
I'm
the
just
root of
gonna
the
I'm gonna say Sam and Tanner.
Yeah.
They were both pretty
I s-
furious about it.
that.
You
Yeah,
think
that's
you think
true.
the guy who's eating all those hot dogs is closeted?
Good point.
I don't see it.
Good point.
And that closet
But they're
probably
both
fucking smells
married
like hot
to
dog fart.
women.
Oh,
Wait,
that
maybe that's
solves
just
it.
me.
They're both married.
Yeah,
You
that's
got
a
me
good
there.
point. That's a good. Somebody said you, and I was like, this is the queerest person on the
Me?
podcast. They use it as an opportunity. Yeah,
I've kissed more boys than anyone in the Discord.
I was.
There's no freaking doubt of that. Like, it's not even close. That's crazy.
I. How many boys do you estimate that you've kissed?
I used to think that
Even if the answer was 1, it would still beat the Discord.
yeah, it's true. I used to think, listen, when we were younger, I'm an old man, so things were problematic. But I used to think you can't sexually harass a man. So like my move was I'd go out drinking with my buddies and I'd kiss a random guy, I'd slap a butt. It's a man. You can't.
You still haven't quantified it.
I mean, I don't. 68. One more than that.
68. All right, you might have kissed more boys than me at least.
Every
think I've kissed that
every
many boys.
wedding I've mentioned so far in this podcast, I kissed at least one boy at the reception. Usually the groom, kind of like power move against the new wife.
Nice.
Closeted. I'm outside all 14 of these closets. Question for the podcast: favorite superhero?
Pat, can you answer for us?
I was just thinking Pat's gonna have
I'm
a way
gonna
cooler
say
answer
it's
than me.
probably Spider-Man.
Oh, that's my
I think
answer.
Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man has the most universal appeal. Spider-Man fits into every kind of story, whether it's dead serious or comedy. Spider-Man has cool powers, a cool outfit. I can tell you, the market research that I've conducted, aka having a 4-year-old nephew, Spider-Man is the one he is fixated.
Oh, I mean, my nephew's now 13, but when he was 4 to when he was 6, he wore a Spider-Man costume almost as much as he wore pants. Like, he lived in that thing. We had to buy him a second one because it was getting gross. Orchid, who are you?
Yeah,
Or who's your favorite superhero?
Oh, I hate to break people's hearts, but I really don't give a flying shit about superheroes.
Okay, so Orchid says Kenny Omega is her favorite superhero.
Probably, actually, I voted Kenny Omega pretty high. I'm not gonna lie.
Sleeper. Question for the podcast: Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy?
Boy,
I'm gonna go with Final Fantasy just because I don't think I've played any Dragon Quest games. So it's just kind of a winner by default.
I've played both. I probably lean Final Fantasy, but I don't play any of those kind of video
Is
games.
Dragon Quest the one that has the Dragon Ball guy doing all the art with like the fucking droplets with little faces?
Sounds right, but I don't remember. I'm thinking maybe I haven't played Dragon Quest, and I'm thinking of something like Monsters, Dragon. I don't know. Dragon Quest is like Dragon Ball Z looking. Now that I'm googling it, so I've never played this. Okay. Question for the pod: who is the Will Osprey of novelists?
Okay, I've got opinions on that one.
Let's hear it.
It's Stephen King.
that's pretty good.
It's Stephen King. Someone who cannot help but go 1,000 pages, who is generally dumb as shit and a bad writer, but occasionally pulls off something that people inexplicably love and treat like it's a great work of some kind. That's Will Osprey.
I can't answer this question honestly without it triggering an article on lidhub.com. So I am going to say, I'm not gonna answer this fucking question. No, fuck it. I'll do it. Jordan Castro. Fuck, shit, piss. No one's gonna listen to this.
Which
Okay,
author is
good.
the Kenny Omega?
Michael Chabon.
Talon.
I was gonna say Poppy Zebra.
Question
Man,
for
Does Talon still even write books?
I can't answer these
I liked the first 2
questions.
Talon books, I think. I think it was the first 2 books of his, and then I read, Taipei when it came out, and I'm just like, "This is dog shit." This is also, I should specify, this is before the lawsuits and everything that were about how, Richard Yates was just his GChat logs with a teenager published, unedited.
The one that he was originally going to tile statutory. I have to shut the fuck up. I'm going to stop talking.
Yeah, no, so this stuff came out after I read the book, so it was like a combination of Taipei being a piece of shit book and then finding out like, "Oh, he's a huge scumbag." And last I heard, he's like an ivermectin guy or something.
Yeah. He. I shouldn't say anything, man. Fuck. Yeah. I'm gonna stop talking. I don't want to be threatened with another lawsuit from Talon. I'll just say that.
Another loss.
Ooh, that's exciting. The lore just keeps getting
Stop-
deeper and deeper.
Stop talking. Stop talking. Stop talking.
Question for the podcast. If you were a Power Ranger, what color would your suit be? Bonus points for extra details or accessory. I'd probably be the Green Ranger so I could play that like flute knife.
Which Rangers are there? Okay, my knowledge of Power Rangers is the very first season, and I'm trying to remember who had which animal. I think the yellow was the saber-toothed tiger, so I want to be the yellow.
Is there any way to answer this question without it being cultural appropriation? Like, there are a few white guys, right? Was there any white guys? Was the
No.
red guy white? He was white,
Yeah.
right?
Well, so the way
red
it
guy was
worked in the
white, the
show
blue
was
guy
that
was
it was
white.
anything where they were in the costumes. At least this is how it was in the first season of the show. I don't know about any fucking shit within the last 30 years, but there was a Japanese show, so anything where they're in the costumes is Japanese people in the costume. And then they had like a very 1995 multi-ethnic, multi-gender friend group where there was one white guy, there was another white guy who turned out to be gay, but we didn't know it at the time. There was one black guy, there was one Asian woman, and there was one white woman. And they formed the Burger King Kids Club.
And the white woman was the Pink Ranger,
Yeah.
and the Asian woman was
Oh, yes.
yellow, and the Black Ranger was black?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. All right. Question for the podcast.
I'm Leo.
Oh.
I'm Leo Rush.
Hell yeah.
Whichever one Leo Rush
Don't even
is.
talk to me about Leo Rush. I think you've all lost your fucking minds.
Wait, what's the Leo Rush discourse?
Just the fucking.
Are people saying he's good now? Because he
Yep.
was never good.
He's always
First off,
he's always
whoa, Leo Rush has always been
He was
good.
never good.
Always been good.
No,
The
he has
fucking-
always sucked dog
the,
dick, man.
the gimmick now is insane.
The gimmick has always been bad because he was doing this gimmick in CZW like fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah, 11
Coming
years
out as
ago,
the
he was good.
Blackheart, with like emo music playing and just, an entrance that lasted 20 minutes.
But now he looks like a baby because he's bold and thick. So it's almost like, imagine if a baby was doing it.
That
and
would be
it's-
awesome. I want to see a baby
That's-
wrestle. I want to see Rush versus a baby.
I want to get more young people in the wrestling business.
Remember when Rush did the imaginary football? I don't think he does this in AEW anymore, but he would do it with Los Ingobernables and CMLL, where they would play like imaginary football. They'd be kicking the soccer ball back and forth, and then they like pretend kick it out into the crowd and look to see how far it went. I want Leo Rush to like scamper around like a fucking freak on all fours, and Rush to just punt him into the crowd. And then ideally he doesn't come back and he never appears on TV again. I mean, I don't even watch AEW, but I still want him off TV.
Question for the podcast. If you had to choose between knives, spoons, or forks to be deleted from the world and no more will ever be made again, which would you choose? In every scenario, sporks are also eliminated, but chopsticks will exist. It seems like the obvious answer is forks.
Yeah. I
Sure.
think the
Let's
world
go for
might
it.
be happier with it. It would put a big dent in the Matt Tremont business.
Q for the P. It is 1995. You have to make a music video for ECW Hardcore TV. Who/what are you making a video about, and what song are you picking?
Okay, I'm gonna just cater to Isabel with this. It's going to be woman Nancy Benoit or Nancy Sullivan as she was at the time. Focused on her as the valet of the Sandman. It's going to be set to "Stutter" by Elastic.
I'm
doing
doing wait,
uh
I gotta go next because I'm gonna do the exact
yeah.
same topic, but the song's gonna be Boys the Men, I'll Make Love to You. So there we go.
That's fucking good. And that song would work for my pick for who it'd be about because I'm picking Rocco Rock
Ooh.
and the song is LaBouche, Be My Lover.
Oh, there we go.
Mhm.
Um, question for the pod. If all of you could combine like Voltron to form one massive podcaster, who's making up what part of the final form? Here it is.
Well, I'm the vagina, right?
No, you wish. You're you're the torso because you're the heart.
The
Okay.
torso I mean, when you consider how the robot is built, the torso would also be the vagina.
Here's the thing, I was making Sam the dick because he's a dick. Me and Pat are the
Okay.
arms because we do the heavy lifting. Chris is the legs because he might walk away at any moment. And I guess there is no head. The head's poor because he's young.
I
You
will
got a
say
baby
one
face.
thing it's I wish Chris was here to answer this question, but and Sam especially, but did anybody notice that every time Pat like read like, like a thing for us to do in our D&D game, Dan was the first to fucking answer, like almost as soon as Pat was finished the sentence. Did anyone notice that?
So
I just assumed he was paying me back because I'm always the first to answer on these stupid fucking wacky line questions.
so you're saying I backed up more and let you guys do more shit and I ruined your good time?
Nope. You're the perfect you're the arms.
But
You're carrying
Dan was
us. Keep
so
it up.
excited to be an Aasimar paladin. You just gotta
Question for the pod. What's your favorite and least favorite Balkan country? All right, Orchid, you go first. You want to go first? Rank these countries.
I would have to rank them. I just have to pick. Oh, my favorite. Okay, my favorite would be Montenegro. My least favorite is probably no. My favorite's gonna be Albania. My least favorite is gonna be Bosnia.
Oh, that's my least favorite. I fucking worked. I
uh,
know I worked with a guy who was really annoying about being Albanian. He called himself the Kosovo
honestly,
Kid.
the only correct answer for this is that screenshot of like John Cena is Serbian. Or it's like or John Cena said, "I hate Albanians." Like, no, he didn't, you son of a bitch.
That's a good one.
You guys know which one I'm talking. Anyway, my favorite is Bosnia, and my least favorite is Herzegovina. It would have been better if I had said it right on the first try.
Every time we did anything, he's like, "Oh, Albania, we don't do that." I was like, "Okay, man. Sorry, we're not in Albania." Question and also he left Albania when he was like 6 years old, I later found out. Like, he would go back and visit, but I'm like, you don't even what are you talking about? Don't talk about the old country. You were 6." Question for the pod. What is the most amount of questions you've answered on a single episode? This question was the 51st asked, so right now our record's 51. Questions for the pod. Why is Jadakiss as hard as it gets? I'm gonna ask these all together. Why is the industry designed to keep the artist in debt? And why them dudes ain't riding if they part of your set?
Thank you, Dan, for reading that. I
Okay.
appreciate
I didn't
it.
know if you guys had any thoughts.
I'm gonna say good song,
All right.
good song.
Yeah,
The bastard wants to know, a
the
bastard, not
goat.
a bastard. If I didn't smell so good, would you still hug me? I might do like a side hug if you're really smelly.
Every nah, get up in here. I love a smelly boy.
Shit. All right.
It's pretty bold of you to assume you would get a hug at
Oh shit. Okay, this one's from Orchid's wife. Q for the P. You get to choose a new entrance song for one wrestler's or established tag such trio entrance. What song do you choose? Plus bonus points for other elements like Jumbotron graphics. Hmm.
In a perfect world, everyone would have the Filthy Animals song because that's just like, yeah, except for maybe one person who has the DX song. Um, I don't know. Let's take Leo Rush and give him "I Just Saw the Gayest Guy on Earth" by Anal Con.
I'm trying to think. Who do you
Oh,
think
Massachusetts Legends, Anal Con.
who do you think wrestles the most? Like, who makes his entrance the most per year? Like, which wrestler do you think it is? Is it Moxley? Is it
I
someone
mean,
in
are we talking
WWE?
in terms of like entrances that are a big production?
Yeah, that are big production.
It might be Moxley.
I want Moxley to
Oh.
start coming out to Uncle Cracker's X Factor theme so I can hear it more.
I would have, um, man, what would be okay, I'm doing something with Edge. I know that. Sorry, Adam Copeland. I don't mean to misgender him. Um, I am having him come out to Jimmy Eats World's, The Middle.
Hell yeah.
You
Are you
know,
a big Jimmy Eat World fan?
I love Jimmy Eat World.
My wife loves Jimmy Eat
For
World. She'll be so happy to
for
hear
me,
this.
this is heaven. This
does she
podcast.
also
Oh my
love Adam
god.
Copeland?
No, she doesn't love Adam Copeland as much.
Her
You
loss.
just said for me, this is you said this she's gonna be alright, I just can't wait. She's gonna be very glad that my podcast wife said that exact sentence.
We got any more questions, Dan?
Can you guys hear me? You guys couldn't hear me. I cut out. Sorry about that.
I could not hear you. No.
Question for the pod. Any of you trying to hit this con and meet Dennis Rodman? This con takes place in Niagara Falls. Doesn't say which side of the border. It's also in about a week, so we don't have a lot of notice.
I already got my photo op at WrestleMania in Vegas.
With Dennis
I'm
Rodman?
good.
That's fucking cool. Do you guys see that Brock Lesnar's doing a autograph signing at some, like, I don't know, like
It's because he put his name on a brand of, like, wooden heating pellet.
that's
So he's signing it like a Tractor Supply or whatever as part of promotion for his brand of heating pellet.
Tractor Supplies, Rural Kings, any store like that. I could walk around them for the whole fucking day, so there should be more wrestling meet and greets at them. Maybe not Brock Lesnar. I think that'd be a good follow-up to getting a selfie with Matt Riddle, getting one with Brock Lesnar for the Discord.
Yeah.
I mean, you get Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler does Comic Cons. You can just, get right up, pay your $30.
Get them all.
Go to whatever jail Tower of Doom is in.
Yeah, he's the big four, as we call him. I think,
I don't even know if he's
have
still
bad news.
alive.
I think Tower of Doom got out of jail, if that makes you feel terrible.
Oh.
And
well,
I
that
think
sucks.
they were doing I don't have enough information on this. I wanna say they were doing some kind of video game YouTube or something. Like, they did something on YouTube. All this could be wrong.
definitely. Yeah, that's definitely who you want doing so. That you might as well like have Googled like what do kids like now.
Oh my god, like, all of this could be made up, but oh, wait, no. Definitely, they do Whatnot. They're one of those people. Yep,
I
selling
don't get
I guess
Whatnot.
it was
It just seems really dumb.
comics and stuff. This guy I used to work with owned 2, like, retail stores where he would buy pallets and resell shit, but now he makes so much money on Whatnot, he's closed one and he wants to close the other one. He just needs to find somewhere else to ship his pallets to because he just makes money buying pallets and just selling the junk on Whatnot.
That's apparently what funds a lot of NHB is Danny DeMonto does like Whatnots and like Facebook Live auctions and stuff like he'll go on the Japan trip and he'll come back with like a shitload of Japanese merch.
Yeah,
And he's
I've
just like
never been on it, I just know.
selling 8x10s and stuff. I think I still have the tab open. What are they showing? They're showing an ECW WrestlePalooza 97 post. It's got Bubba Ray Dudley wearing his Confederate bandana. I don't think I want that on my wall.
You guys see that cool fridge that was for sale on my local Facebook?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You guys got anything else you wanna say on this super short podcast we did?
Listen, if someone is looking for a fridge, get in touch with Dan. He knows a guy.
Take your medicine and I'll help you buy your fridge.
God bless.
Bye.